synapses in the internet underground. Everyone knows who I am. The world is my chessboard and war is the tool of the game. Don't hate me, I'm just a messenger. Say what you want about me, but I speak the truth. The truth, the truth. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Excuse me for that little, excuse me there. Anyway, cheers to everybody out there. How are you doing? I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and you're listening to True Capitalist Radio. Sorry I'm a little late today. I had a lot of current events that are happening right now. Anyway, this is episode number 761. Episode 761 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show across the internet and throughout the world. And let everybody let them all know that the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is in effect and in the house. And we're going to try to do it live every 5 p.m.-ish Central Standard Time on Mondays, all right? We're gonna try to stick to that schedule. We got a lot of things going on in the world today. But first, I'd like to start off this episode 761 to tell you all I told you so. All right? I told you all so. And let me tell you, everything that I said was going to happen in 2024 when you people decided to call me some kind of a Democrat or some kind of crap like that, well, look who's laughing now. The only thing that hasn't come to pass at this point is a shutdown because of either some kind of a virus once again or a potential shutdown of the entire country due to martial law because of some national security issue. I don't know. But anyway, Kirk Johnson, thank you very much for the buy me a coffee. I'm glad you decided to show up and do a TCR in celebration of National Napping Day. Yeah, thanks a lot. And cheers to, once again, Valentine Broadcasting, hooking it up with 5 gifted subs over there at Rumble. Cheers to you, man. I appreciate it. And thank you for chilling with us on a True Capitalist Radio today. All right? I hope you're doing well on this Monday. And cheers to Ray for kicking it back here on a True Capitalist Radio show. And thank you for the Rumble rant. All right? Cheers was listening to the last TCR broadcast. Thanks for this episode. Well, thank you very much. All right? All right, is everything all right? Can y'all hear me? Y'all are just fucking being a bunch of trolls. Anybody who's trolling in here, I'm kicking your ass out. All right? Anybody who's trolling in here, I'm kicking your ass out. Kick them out. Anybody who's trolling, kick them out of here. All right, this ain't the goddamn ghost show here. All right, this ain't the damn ghost show. Anyway, let's continue here, all right? I'm sorry if we're going to be trolled in here. Unfortunately, I do a fucking tard show called The Ghost Show. That's live on Tuesday and Friday. And unfortunately, we have a lot of these people that are patronizing this broadcast. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get... It's cutting in and out? Hold on. Hello? Is it really cutting in and out? Here, let me see, you fucking morons. Hold on just a second. Oh, shit, wrong button here. Hold on, let me see. I'll see it for myself. Shut down. Because of either coffee. I'm glad you decided to show. You stupid bastards. Hey, kick everybody out of here who said that my microphone was messed up. Kick them all out of here. I don't give a shit who they are. If you've got, don't ask me to unban you on Go Show either. All right, seriously, ban everybody. Ban them all. All right, ban them the fuck all. Devious Dave, I don't give a shit if it was you here. Get out of here. Get out. Jesus fucking Christ. This is how I start this show, man. Anyway, look, let me just go ahead and start the show with the markets, okay? And just completely ignore these loser pieces of trash. Many of them all voted this shit in, by the way. All these people that are talking shit and flapping their fat Cheeto-stained fingers, these folks are out here. They were the ones that brought this in. So I hope that you have shame upon yourself. Of course you don't. You don't want to take any responsibility. That's the typical American way. That's why yours truly not the big fan of the American people right now. Let's just put it that way. And why? Well, everything that I said Trump was going to do in 2024 is coming to pass. Take a look at this. Trump triggers world financial panic as Iran war chaos spirals out of control. Spirals out of control. Now, remember, Trump ran that he was going to be the peacetime president and that there was going to be no wars. I would like to recall your recollection when you, on the right, suggested that if Kamala was somehow put into the presidency, that she would have started all these wars. Well, by God, weren't you all wrong? And let me tell you, I know that the latest MAGA cope is to say, well, at least it's not Kamala. Kamala would not have done anything. She didn't have the full consciousness of her party. Half of her party didn't even like her. So whatever she was trying to do in policy, she would have gotten resistance within her own party and, of course, the Republican Party. So it would have been a lame duck. It would have been a lame duck, and that would have been a hell of a lot better than what's going on today.
That for $1.
All right? And what is this high council? Where the hell have you been? I haven't seen you in years. You used to count my shekels, by the way. Thank you for fucking buying me a coffee. High Council came back to say that you weren't the guy who said you did a lot of dangerous shit to get Trump elected. Yeah, that was 2016, asshole. All right? And by the way, don't count my shekels, you stupid loser. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this. Now, look, the markets have come back. As you can see, take a look at this. The charts came back there at the end of the day, and we're going to talk about why. But it was definitely negative most of the day, and all the indices ended up coming up on the plus side because of some news about Iran, which we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the markets. Now, as I've suggested for the past couple of years, I think people need to stay away from this market. The only thing that I'm invested in is maybe half a dozen small cap and micro cap growth stocks that I don't anticipate seeing any profit for at least another 2 or 3, 4 years. Once this market, which is a tarred market, by the way, this is an absolute tarred market because there should be no reason why anybody's buying into any of this. All right? All of our GDP growth right now is due to AI technology. And as we're starting to see as AI and time goes by, AI isn't really doing the things that tech bros over there in Silicon Valley suggested that were going to happen in a very rapid amount of time. So as a result, I think that anybody who's buying into this market, especially into the NASDAQ, I think you need to fucking think twice. And if you have profits, I would take them now. Why anybody is going into this market is beyond me. Everything is at super high prices, especially the top 12 stocks that everybody's trading that consumes like 60% of the money that's being circulated in these markets. I mean, these are overpriced. And I've been suggesting for the past couple of years, and this is how I've been running my portfolio, it's cash heavy. Most of my portfolio is cash, and then, of course, I invested in metals. And I tried to tell you folks to start accumulating metals, especially when the Federal Reserve rose interest rates in March of 2022. I knew that it wasn't going to curb inflation, and I knew we were going to have some turbulence in the future. So, I mean, I hope that you folks listen, because you could have gotten in on silver as recently as last year, at the latter part of last year, at about $20. All right? Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm just trying to tell you, cash, metals, and I would say real estate. If you had real estate, I mean, you're in a pretty good position because it doesn't look like the real estate prices are going to come down anytime soon. So if you are in those three assets right now and you have a very good, generous amount of a cash hoard, I think you're in the money literally right now, because if you don't think that there's going to be some bad economic shit at this point, well, then you got another thing coming. All right, you got another thing coming, for Christ's sake. Anyway, let's continue. We got the Dow Jones Industrial closing up on the upside there at the end of the day due to some news that just came in. But it is up 0.50%, closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 47,740.80 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. The S&P 500 closed on the plus side. It is up 0.83%, closing out the S&P at 6,795.99 points for the S&P 500. And then we got the NASDAQ. It is up, I don't know why, but a whopping 1.38% on the day. There at the end of the day, as you can take a look at the chart, it's there at the end of the day, 22,695.95 points for the NASDAQ composite. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the commodities, shall we? Now, take a look at all that green thanks to the Iran strikes that don't seem to be benefiting America in any capacity, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But if you take a look at crude oil, in the past week, it has gone up 23.48%. This week alone. You take a look at the month, it is up 37.51%. Year to date, it is up 53.17%. So crude oil, though you had this drill baby drill mantra coming from Trump, it doesn't seem that that really is doing anything for the prices here. Moreover, the Venezuela thing doesn't seem to be benefiting us either. Now, we did have some news that just came out that Trump is planning on doing all kinds of shit. Preliminary, this is all talk. Remember, he just had a fucking speech before I came on here, and he was suggesting that he's going to do everything necessary to bring down the cost of oil. And that includes releasing from the strategic oil reserve. That includes potentially providing some kind of military cover in the Strait of Hormuz, which is currently closed right now because we're in this conflict with Iran. Now, the Strait of Hormuz, believe it or not, is not just an oil strait in which cargo ships pass. I mean, it supplies a good amount of the world's food. All right, so the Strait of Hormuz being to a standstill because of this conflict puts the not only the United States in jeopardy, it could potentially cause world hunger. All right, the longer that this damn thing is closed, which already makes us, look, we already look bad enough. Okay, just wait until, that happens. All right. And anyway, let's go ahead. We got trolling the interwebs. Why are you saying Earl like that? I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but thank you for the rumble rant. All right, but let's take a look at these oil prices, these energy prices. And what's sad about this is that on top of inflation.
I'd buy that for $1.
Okay, on top of inflation, which is continuously going up, on top of the tariff costs, which is causing the price of everything to go up, okay, on top of that, we've got the energy prices that are going to be reflected in the regular prices of everything in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks if these damn prices of oil stay at these rates. Because if they don't, I mean, we are going to see prices go even higher because everything needs to be transported. Everything needs to go from point A to point B. And as a result, these prices that you're going to be seeing, that these truckers have to pump in their trucks, the flights, the ships, all that is, once again, relayed to the consumer. So as I stated, all right, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And look, anybody who is saying that my microphone's messed up, and if I check again, I'm kicking you all out. I am not fucking, I don't care who you are. I'm kicking your asses out of here. All right? Not Kamala. Turbulence in the future. So there is nothing wrong with the mic, you moron. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the mic. Dude, if there's mods in here, kick these fucking people out. Here, I'm going to kick these fuckers out of here. Fade, you're out of here. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. All right? Get these fuckers out of here. I'm sick and tired of these people. Get them out. Get them all out of here. Fucking, who else said it? Who else said it? Get Vorhood Merchant out of here to get them all out of here. All right, who else fucking said it? Soy Boy, get out of here. All right, you fucking pieces of shit. Get out of here. Stupid sons of... I know it's fine, man. I'm fucking tired of this. This ain't the fucking Ghost Show, you fucking tards. Jesus fucking Christ, man. You see, this is why our country's being flushed down the fucking toilet. Because we are comprised of morons like this that either don't take life seriously at all, especially when we need to be in a serious situation. All right? And let me tell you something else. If it isn't these people that are fucking not taking life seriously, okay, it's these fucking man-children pieces of shit who think that they can play with Teddy Ruxpin until they're fucking 75 years old. So give me a fucking break. All right? Anyway, as I was stating, crude oil current price right now, $87.74. Brent crude, which is the crude oil that is consumed by the rest of the world, it is up right now at $92.40. Now, it did come down. All right? It did come down because we had a very over-speculative price earlier this week, and it went up to at least 115 plus. So, you know how it is. And Chainsaw Man fan, a Ghost, I just turned 18, and I have about 10K in McDonald's shares now in my name. Should I move this to a long-term growth or planning on adding more gradually as well? Well, to be honest with you, I think you should keep those. If you've got 10K USD in McDonald's shares, I think that you should really, kind of add on to your portfolio and diversify. Keep the McDonald's stock. I mean, it'll fluctuate. I do believe it pays out a dividend. And if it pays out a dividend, yeah, I would actually accumulate more. And then, Belligerent Brian, your mic is okay for now, but re-listen to the show later. Intermediate issues. All right, thank you very much. I'll take a look at it. And Art Hammond hooked it up with a Buy Me a Coffee since we're acknowledging some donos here. Art Hammond, hey, Ghost, just coming in to say I'm fine. I actually saw the aftermath of the bombing from one of the buildings that got hit. And lest we forget, Art Hammond is in the Middle East. He's a Middle Eastern listener. It was close to my workplace. Being serious, this shit has been nerve-wracking, and seeing stuff like this happen in a place where I live is definitely something I didn't expect. I tried to tell you, Art Hammond, that this was coming. I tried to tell you all this was coming in 24, but unfortunately, much like you morons, all right, that are doing now, much like how you're doing, you didn't take shit serious. You know, and you fucking called me a Democrat. And look at you people now. Look at you. Don't you realize how fucking stupid you people look? You understand? Do you understand how fucking stupid you fucking people look? Anyway, we got, I didn't expect that. I'm doing the best to keep myself safe, and thankfully, none of the areas close to me have ever been hit. But I do want to say thanks to a lot of people in the Ghost community for being awesome. This show is one of the many that have kept me through the years, through tough times, and it still keeps me in good spirits with all the shenanigans. Hell, I look back fondly on some of the trolling I did too. Appreciate y'all, including Ghost. Well, thank you, Art Hammond. I'm glad that you're okay, and cheers to you, man. All right? And stay safe. I know that your country's being hit up, so stay safe. Can you kick these people out of here, dude? Listen to me. I'm going to end the fucking show. If the audio's fucked up, I'll end the fucking show and then not do fucking Ghost Show tomorrow. How about that shit? How about that? Look, listen to this. It did come down because we had a very over-speculative price earlier. There's nothing wrong with the fucking audio. And it went up to at least 115. There's nothing wrong with the audio. So, you know how it is. And, I mean, give me a break. Chainsaw Man fan. Are you talking about that little static or some shit? Anyway, you know what? I really can't do this show, man. Look, it's unfortunate that I initially started this whole show back about almost 20 years ago trying to be serious. And unfortunately, it took a turn to where now, I don't know, I'm entertainment for tards or some kind of shit like that. All right? I mean, and it's just, I can't stand the people that listen to me. I'm serious. I can't stand at least fucking 90% of you fucking people. I can't stand any of you fucks. All right? Here we are. I tried to tell you all this shit was going to happen in 2024. You fucking idiots trolled me back then. You called me a Democrat. All right? And take a look at you fucking losers now. Huh? You've got to pay up the ass for everything, just like I said was going to happen. I said that Trump wasn't going to bring down the prices of anything. I said the economic policies that he's proposing is going to make the fucking goddamn prices of everything skyrocket, you fucking morons. I told you idiots that this wasn't going to be some great America. I said you were going to wish, you were going to long for the Joe Biden days, and I'm not saying that Joe Biden days were so great either. But I'll tell you that right now.
Buy that for $1.
And hold on, what is it? What? Look, don't donate to me, all right? I'm fucking done. Just like, if I'm gonna do the show, let me do my fucking show.
I'd buy that for $1.
And wait a minute, I think people are mistaking your smacking your lips as Mike Skip. I can hear how wet your mouth is. Okay, great. All right, you know what? Fuck all of you people, all right? I'm taking a break, all right? I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Don't expect a ghost show tomorrow, all right? I'm fucking sick of you people. You people make me want to fucking puke. And Zach the AI, I'm not fucking unblocking you on X, all right? If all you people are going to do shit like this, then get the fuck out of here. I fucking can't stand most of you fucking people. I swear to fucking Christ, all right? I swear to fucking Christ, you people are the reason this country is being flushed down the toilet, you fucking losers. Hell, you know what? Why do I even care about talking about finance with you people? Half of you people probably can't even put a fucking down payment on a sandwich. All right? All right? I mean, what did I tell you fucking idiots? I told you that this situation was going to be exponential when it comes to the prices of this country. All right? And don't fucking talk shit, trolling. You were fucking all pro-Trump back then, too. All of you people that were pro-Trump, you should be the first one drafted in this world war. All right? You are the one that needs to be drafted. All of you fucking people that were pro-Trump, you need to be drafted. I mean, all of you people first, all right? And I'll be okay with that. Take a look at this. The Iran conflict matters more for inflation than growth. You want to know why? Because as I mentioned when I was going over the stocks and all that shit, what I was mentioning is that our GDP growth is solely dependent on AI.
I'd buy that for
All right.
$1.
Solely dependent on AI. And AI's not looking good right now. Not just because it's lackluster performance, if you want my personal opinion, but also this situation right here. I mean, the war is now jeopardizing our integrity with the goddamn Middle East. All right? I mean, can you believe this shit? Let me show you what I'm saying. So, if the American economy is dependent upon AI growth, take a look at this. Iran war imperils $300 billion in Gulf AI spending. So all this growth that is anticipated from all these AI companies is definitely going to be stunted because all these fucking Gulf states, which are very wealthy, are not very happy with us right now. All right, they're not very happy with us because this was one of the worst military blunders in American military history, and I'm going to get into that here shortly. But if our goddamn GDP is dependent upon AI growth and $300 billion of that AI spending is going to be like second guessed because the Gulf states don't appreciate that they're being hit up by fucking Iran and America didn't fucking have a contingency plan for this shit. So right off the bat, I don't know why anybody is buying into these markets at all. At all. You need to keep your fucking cash. I've been trying to tell each and every one of you. I've been trying to tell each and every one of you to save your cash. And I hope you did. All right? I hope you fucking did. All right? So, look, since you people don't give a shit about the markets because you probably all lost your money anyway, all right? And by the way, stay out of crypto. It's a scam. I've been trying to tell you crypto tards for the past 2 years. All you're doing is giving your goddamn money to BlackRock and these Satoshi-era fucking whales and shit. So I don't know why you people are still doing that. But, you know, as you can see, I'm a little upset by the riffraff that's listening to this show, even though I'm trying to be very serious about this show. We're in very serious times. Take a look at this. In a 25-country survey, Americans especially likely to view fellow citizens
I'd buy that
as
for
morally
$1.
bad. All right? As morally bad. Stop donating to me, for fuck's sake, all right? You see them in the middle of a fucking show, all right? Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, proud German. Good to see you. Good to see you're streaming at normal times. I can't watch the Ghost Show live because I'm too busy with my job. Sorry to hear that. But I like TCR better anyway. I've been wondering, last time I heard your niece ruined your Christmas. I'm not fucking. Thank you for the fucking $5, you fucking moron. Vampiro, how do you get a black kid? I'm not reading these. All right? I'm not reading these. This isn't the fucking Ghost Show, you fucking tards. All right? But anyway, as I was stating before I got rudely interrupted by fucking two idiots that really don't know how to put sentence fragments together properly, all right? In a 25-country survey, Americans especially likely to view fellow citizens as morally bad. As morally bad. And look, I agree. I've been trying to tell you this for the past several years. The American public sucks. The American public are a bunch of entitled, arrogant, ungrateful fucking people. All right? And I've been saying that, and take a look. We deported, right, supposedly, we deported all the productive people that were tending to our crops, that were tending to our livestock.
I'd buy
all right?
that for $1.
And Purple Juice, can you fuck off? I know you're not listening, all right? I don't even think you have a fucking job. Where'd you get that $5? All right? What's your excuse? You're going to say some shit, thinking that you're some fucking Cajun coon-ass fucking wannabe. If you're skipping rants, it's all cool, but cheers. Hey, TCR, I'm driving home from work. Oh, well. I'm sorry. I just cursed out this guy. I told him he didn't have a job. He's fucking driving home from work. Sorry, Purple Juice. I'm glad you got a job. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm just pissed off, all right? You see these people. You see these fucking people. I'm sorry, Purple Juice. I didn't mean to call you that. I'm sorry. I'm in a bad mood. Anyway, he says, I'm driving home from work doing sheetrock work. Hey, and some demolition work. Hey, all of you people that are males that don't have a job, that are complaining on Twitter that I can only make $2,000 a month. I don't know what I'm going to do. Why don't you fucking get up off your ass? Why don't you get up off your fucking ass and do some hard labor like Purple Juice over here? All right? I guarantee you do some goddamn, you do some hard labor aside from you getting some of that beefy tit fucking fat ass off of your ass. Aside from that, you could potentially make fucking six figures. All right? And hold on just a second. What is this? CNN said 28 U.S. Marines are currently sieging an Iranian Prince. Yeah, great. Ram Ranch fucking reference. Ha ha ha. You see, this is why 53% of U.S. adults say Americans have bad morals and ethics. Aside from that, they're fucking morons. I mean, I tried this shit that's happening right now. I predicted in 24 was not hard to call. This is fucking foreign policy 101, economics 101. All right, give me a break. And what the fuck now? Dude, did I tell you people to stop fucking donating unless you're going to fucking ask something pertinent or something important? All right, I don't give a shit about your stupid troll. See, some idiot named Moon Man trying to say the N-word. All right? This is why our country sucks, all right? This is why our country sucks. And to be honest with you, if you're an American citizen and you're not doing a goddamn thing but just fucking sitting there going along like some fucking mindless NPC, you're a piece of shit. You know that? I mean, I already can't stand 60% of you American people because 60% of you fucking people take money out of my pocket, all right? By being a detriment and being an unproductive piece of shit that is fucking taking off the tax dole. All right? So go fuck yourself if you're a part of that contingent. Get off my show if you're part of that contingent. I don't want to have nothing to do with you people. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, once again, why are people viewing America in a different morally bad, ethically bad way? Because we have known all this shit about the Epstein files. And by the way, new Epstein files have come out, and that has not only been memory hold, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. You idiots are just sitting in here trolling, and you ain't doing a damn thing about it. Look at fucking No-Face Killer. Like other boomers, hey, what are you doing for the country besides fucking sitting at home like a boomer and barbecuing your ass off every fucking Sunday? Huh? You ain't doing shit. So the last person to be sitting there and having any kind of an opinion on anything is fucking you. All right? About boomers this, boomers that. What are you doing? What are you young people doing? You ain't doing shit. All right? Look, you elected a president in 2024 that now has been revealed that he's all over the Epstein files. I mean, take a look at this. Take a look at this. The Justice Department released an additional documents in the Epstein files last week concerning decades-old sexual assault allegations against President Donald Trump, with the Post and Courier confirming some aspects of the accuser's background, but key details and documenting concerns concerning the bombshell allegations. Apparently,
I'd buy that for $1.
hold on just a sec. Can y'all please stop fucking donating to me, man? I'm trying not to do this for the money here, all right? I'm trying to spark synapses in the brains of folks, but hell, I mean, they can fucking put them in a petri dish now and make them do whatever the fuck they want. So maybe human beings are going to be fucking very important in the future anyway. Anyway, currently have 15 grand in shares in 3 shipping companies that have all been hit by the blockade. At this point, it would be better to... all right. Would it be better to... Yeah, all right. Anyway, look, dude, I'm just going to continue. All right, I'm not acknowledging any donations. I appreciate them. I'm not acknowledging them. All right, I'm not acknowledging them because I can't stand you fucking people. I'm over here trying to give you fucking information, and look at you fucking morons. You want to be a bunch of fucking imbecilic, ungrateful, ignorant, typical American public. All right, and kick that asshole that's spamming out of here.
I'd buy that for $1.
You see, look at this fucking idiot Moon Man trying to make me say the N-word. You know what I'm saying? This fucking idiot fucking, oh, God. Informant against Epstein. You see, we're at the level of demoralization. How Yuri Bezmenov, look him up. We're at that stage where people can't draw conclusions to rational questions. I mean, the government files on...
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, dude. I'm not going to do the ghost show tomorrow. All right, I am not. I am absolutely not doing the ghost show tomorrow. All right. As a matter of fact, I may not even finish this show. All right, because I really don't like you people. All right, I'm talking to the American people. All right, so some of you foreigners are all right. Don't get me wrong. I know I talk shit about foreigners, but you guys aren't bad. You American fucking people, I mean, you are shameless. I mean, just take a look at you people in the mirror. I mean, all you have to do is go out to the public. I don't even like going out. I don't even like going outside because of the fucking ugliness and the sour scowls on everybody's fucking faces, man. No, I'm not anti-American. I love the Constitution. I want to try to help preserve the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the document that accords us these rights that you fucking idiots take for granted every fucking day. I want to preserve that shit, but I don't like the fucking American people. The American people are a bunch of non-productive fucking shitheads that do nothing but complain.
I'd buy that for $1.
They do nothing but complain. Look at this. Look at this. Degenerate is ghost little put. What the fuck does that say? Denigrate is whatever. Denigrate ghost is pussy. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? The Moon Man, by the way. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Anyway, as I was mentioning, all right, an unnamed accuser who alleges she was forced to perform oral sex on Trump while underage in the 1980s, and he punched her on the side of her head, and then she bit him on the penis. She bit him on the penis. So look, I know MAGA people are like, well, those are unsubstantiated. They interviewed this girl 3 different times, the FBI did. And yet, nothing happened to Trump. Nothing happened to this guy. I mean, and moreover, all these, and look, there's still documents that we haven't seen yet. Apparently, according to some of the Democrats that are on this committee that are privy to this fucking content, that there's alleged shit with Trump on it that has audio and video and pictures.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right? Enjoy the beer, you NWO show. Can you fuck off already? I'm trying to do a show here. And not Doomcat. Isn't that true? Jewish people are living on the East Coast or collecting EBT and having 10 kids. The Jews got exposed by Tyler Oliveira. Dude, listen to me. I don't care if it's Jews. I don't care if it's whites. I don't care if it's blacks. I don't care if it's Mexicans. If you are collecting off the government, you're an unproductive piece of shit, and you deserve no respect from anybody in this country that is working their ass off. You understand? I don't care what fucking race you are, all right? If you are collecting off the government dole, you are beneath me and everybody else who works or owns a business in this country. And if you don't believe that, well, then keep living in your subsidized fantasy world and stay the fuck out of the fucking civilized society that the rest of us live in. You fucking EBT fucking welfare collected piece of shit. Anyway, as I was stating, nobody gives a shit about the Epstein files. Out in Europe, out in even the Middle East, people are getting fired, they're getting arrested, people are falling from grace, and yet nothing is done to any of these people in this country. And you want to know why? Because of you immoral, unethical, ungrateful, entitled, ignorant, arrogant American fucking people. All right, because of you people. And whoever the hell Jumbarby is, or Jumbardi, can you piss off? You, Moonman, Geno X, and I don't know what the hell fucking goddamn Haywood's problem was. Piss off! Jesus Christ. But here we are in America where, apparently child sex trafficking rings don't mean that you fall from grace anymore. And then we wonder why we are now being fucking destroyed from within by this fucking weirdo. Unfucking believable, man. Unfucking believable. Well, if it isn't that, okay? If it isn't that, we're being persecuted by the Department of Homeland Security that was supposed to create this ICE department in order to, kind of search out illegal immigrants. Unfortunately, the only people that have been getting killed are American people. All right? Those are the only people that have been getting killed. Take a look at this. All right? U.S. government says its agents are under attack, and the claims reached 380 million views on X. All right? All right, most of the alleged culprits in these tweets were U.S. citizens, denounced as terrorists and rioters and agitators. All right? I mean, give me a fucking break, man. This is where
I'd buy that for $1.
Yet, you have not been convicted at trial. All right? You haven't been convicted. This is where we're at. These are American citizens. Now, do I agree with these people and their protesting and how they're... No, I don't. I absolutely don't.
$1.
All right. Jesus Christ, dude. All right, I'm not acknowledging these donos, dude. I'm not. All right? I'm trying to do a fucking show here, and I just... give me a fucking break, dude. All right? Give me a fucking break. And what is this? Sun Man... Ghost, you told me 13 years ago to be a ghetto capitalist. No, fuck. All right, go fuck off, dude. All right, seriously, go fuck off. And take another 5, you poor little N-word. Fucking Moon Man, for Christ's sake. Listen!
I'd buy that for $1.
Look, stop donating for fuck's sake. I'm trying to get some fucking serious shit across here. And my bad last Fridays, guys. I'm still banned on X. I'll calm my ass down. I need a TCR every Monday. Well, these fuckers aren't. All right? I'm sitting over here saying that ICE, and I said it before it was even created and implemented. Well, it was still created, but implemented as the enforcement on so-called immigration. I told you that this was something to keep our asses in check. To bypass the Constitution. To bypass the Bill of Rights. And even though I don't agree with these leftist fucking lunatics, I mean, I have to be somewhat appreciative that there is some fucking opposition to this ridiculousness, because everything that these fucking guys are doing is so against the Constitution, it's pathetic.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, it's pathetic. And Americans are now the target in Trump's immigration crackdown. The prognosticator of prognosticators strikes again. I told you all, go back in the fucking archive if you don't believe me, that this ICE immigration situation doesn't look like it's for the immigrants. It looks like it's for us. And by God, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. We're being targeted. We're being targeted. We have the freedom of speech. All right? We have the freedom of speech. Now, fortunately enough, this has caused such a bad PR situation that they needed, and I'm talking the Republicans, they needed to get rid of this stupid fucking bitch, Kristi Noem. I'm talking cosplay Barbie. Okay? And they found it. Take a look at this. Cooking cowgirl Kristi sacrificing underbosses so MAGA doesn't have to blame Trump. And that's exactly what he does. I've been telling you this for a long time. If you are close to him and you do something for him and it makes him look bad, he's going to throw you under the bus to make you look bad. All right? To make you look bad. So anyway, I am glad cosplay Barbie is no longer the Department of Homeland Security. Unfortunately, they gave it to some fucking shithead who hid and pissed like a bitch and hid under the goddamn congressional chairs during January 6th. So I find that ironic. But how they got Kristi Noem out, I'll tell you how. It was that ridiculous testimony that she gave in front of some fucking Senate or congressional committee. I forgot what it was. But this was the question at hand, okay, that really got her. And this is the justification on how the Republicans kind of forced Trump's hand on being able to kind of eliminate Kristi Noem from the equation of the Department of Homeland Security in an attempt to try to revamp the PR of the Department of Homeland Security. But this was the exchange right here. Put the PC shot on that did it. Here it is. This is the Senate Judiciary Committee, and this is Senator Kennedy, who's a very soft-spoken guy. And whenever you're watching these congressional committee or testimonies, these guys in the back are the guys that research and dig up all the information for these politicians to say in this political theater. All right? Let's listen to what got Kristi Noem fired. Well, she got transferred to some makeshift bullshit, made up bureaucracy. But this is what got her in. This is what did her in.
You have a policy, Madam Secretary, that you have to approve all contracts at your department over $100 million?
No, sir. I have a policy in place that I review contracts. My deputy chiefs have the ability to review anything under $5 million. Above that, I evaluate and look at.
Okay. And you do that, I understand, to try to curb waste and abuse of taxpayer money. Is that right?
Yes, sir. In fact, it's been extremely effective. We've saved the taxpayers over $13.2 billion just by evaluating contracts, negotiating.
Now, this is classic politician work because most of these fucking politicians are lawyers and they know exactly what questions to ask you in order for you to fall on your own sword. And that's exactly what Kristi Noem is doing here.
Lower ones and canceling ones that aren't necessary to do our duties.
How do you square that concern for waste, which I share, with the fact that you have spent $220 million
Whoa!
running television advertisements that feature you prominently?
That feature you prominently, Miss
Sir, the
Cosplay
president tasked
Barbie.
me with getting the message out to the country and to other countries.
Now, here she is. She says, look, I've got the authority of the president to do what I have to do. All right? And look, let's be honest. All right? Trump is doing the exact same thing, but even worse. And everybody in the cabinet is seeing it. So that's why they think they can do it too. Even though they don't realize that, unfortunately, right before President Trump was elected, the Supreme Court ruled that the president can't be fucking prosecuted for anything. So the Trump right now is fucking lining his coffers like some despicable despot, and these fucking morons think they can do it too. Remember fucking Kash Patel takes the FBI airplane to go fucking visit his girlfriend, go to fucking UFC events, go see the fucking hockey team in Italy for the Olympics and all that other shit. Anyway, here's Kennedy trapping her in her own shit. She says, well, no, we have people that look over these contracts and listen to the rest.
Countries where we were seeing the invasion come from, with putting commercials out that told them that if they were in this country illegally, that they needed to leave, or we would detain them and remove them, and they'd not get the chance to come back to America the right way. That has been extremely effective.
Ask you to run these advertisements, is that right?
We had that conversation, yes, before I was put in this position and sworn in and confirmed, and since then as well.
Okay. Did you bid out those service contracts?
I mean, he's just asking simple questions to put her in the exact situation that he's going to catch her in. Did you have anything to do with those contracts?
Yes, they did. They went out to a competitive bid, and career officials at the department chose who would do those advertising commercials.
And the people that you ended up picking were people who had formerly done your political work back in South Dakota. Is that right?
Oh, it all comes clear now. You see, look, she got caught taking $250 million of tax money, all right, and then gave it to the people that ran her campaign in North Dakota, all right? And let's just go ahead and hear the rest of this, all right?
No, that's not correct, sir.
I think it is.
No, it's not, sir. The individuals who, I believe the careers who they chose were two different media firms. There's been conversation about their subcontractors, but we have no legal authority to look into.
About their subcontractors, all right? So the company that we contracted, I mean, maybe some of their subcontractors hired my people, but the companies themselves, no, of course not.
Subcontractors on work like that.
Okay. And you're saying that you're testifying that President Trump approved this ahead of time?
And you see, that right there was her doing. Answering this question right here had her removed from DHS. Because, look, I think Kennedy initiated this. I mean, he's a fucking career politician. And, look, he's trying to look out for himself and the other senators in this fraternity that is the Senate. And they're taking it on the teeth because of all the actions that Trump is doing. And particularly these Americans that are dying at the hands of DHS and ICE agents, and it doesn't make the fucking Republicans look good at all. So what they do is, typical politics, is throw somebody under the bus and try to revamp the whole concept
I'd buy that for
of
$1.
the agency, all right? Anyway, I'm not acknowledging donos right now, dude. I'm sorry, Rando.
Is that my understanding?
We had conversations about making sure that we were telling people.
No, ma'am. I'm asking you, sorry to interrupt, but the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
And you see, he's asking her again. You said the president okayed all this shit. Again, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly,
Did the president
worked
know
with
you were going
OMB.
to do this?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what did her in right there. That's what did her in right there, because the White House later comes out, the press secretary, and says, absolutely not, we didn't approve this shit, and that was over. All right?
And one thing, Senator, I think would be helpful.
And look, she's going to try to, like, do a little bit of a preamble trying to justify this shit.
To know is how effective that communications has been. That
Well, they were
overwhelmingly
effective in your name recognition.
They were effective in your name recognition. Thank you. Cosplay Barbie. Why do you think everybody called her Cosplay Barbie? She would always dress up in different outfits. She'd, make sure a camera's in her face. I've seen so many of those ads that Senator Kennedy is talking about out here. I even thought to myself, when I'm in a drunken stupor at night watching TV, trying to pass out, seeing this bitch at like fucking over and over, like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. It's like, how much is the taxpaying dollars is being put into this shit? Well, now we know.
I mean, I personally
I'd buy that for $1.
I mean, to me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot. And it And I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. It's just hard for me to believe, knowing the president, as I do, that you said, Mr. President, here's some ads I've cut, and I'm going to spend $220 million running them, that he would have agreed to that. I don't think Russ Vogt at OMB would have agreed to that.
No, they wouldn't.
It's something we have to defend. I'm on the Appropriations Committee. My research shows that you did not bid them out, that you pick. In fact, one of the people you picked, the strategy group, Safe America Media, was a company formed 11 days before you picked them. And
Yeah, a company just started 11 days before Noam picked them as this contractor for this stupid, ridiculous advertising campaign featuring her.
and that the strategy group got most of the money, and the head of that is married to your former spokesperson.
You see, look, the reason she thought she can get away with this, just the same way Patel is getting away with utilizing the FBI jet to go there, just like all these people in the cabinets are doing. They're doing it because they see Trump doing it. Unfortunately for Noam, she pigged out and got her hand caught in the cookie jar, and hence all the bad shit she's done. I mean, let's talk about some of the bad shit that she's done here. All right? I mean, she caused the temporary shutdown when it comes to TSA and ICE funding. Take a look at this. TSA staff shortages lead to long hours security line for travelers at some airports. All right? So the whole reason why there's a partial shutdown was because the last shutdown that we had, the Republicans okayed a bill so that it could be signed by the president to fund the government up until the summer, I believe. And there was a 2-week window to debate what was going to happen to the funding of TSA, which falls under the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, etc. Now, what I don't like about this is that the United States is hosting the FIFA soccer tournament, right? I'm not a big soccer fan, but FIFA soccer tournament, which is going to have like 5 or 6 different soccer events across the United States. And I don't like the fact that all of a sudden we have a shutdown in Department of Homeland Security that is supposed to be monitoring this situation. And there's been some speculation in the conspiracy world that this may have been done on purpose to potentially, and look, this has been speculated. I'm not trying to say that this is, but that it could be a potential ripe opportunity for a terrorist act, whether false flag or actual one, given the fact that our security is down because we are not funding the Department of Homeland Security. And the reason we're not funding the Department of Homeland Security is because of ICE and its persecution of American people, and how American people seem to be the only ones targeted for death by DHS agents or ICE. All right? So that's part of the reason why, they wanted to get rid of her. All right, here's body footage of the latest, body cam footage of the latest America victim here. And these are Americans, all right? These aren't illegals or anything. Now, look, take a look at this. Viewer discretion is advised. This is the ABC footage.
Now to newly released videos of the deadly shooting of an American citizen by a federal immigration agent last year in Texas. The videos appear to contradict the Department of Homeland Security's allegations that the driver deliberately rammed an agent with his car. And we want to warn you that some viewers may find the images disturbing. Here's ABC's Christiane.
Now, if you take a look at this footage.
New questions tonight about newly released body camera footage showing the moments before a Homeland Security agent shot and killed a 23-year-old man in South Texas. The shooting happened 1 year ago on South Padre Island, a resort area popular with spring breakers. The video released as the Department of Homeland Security.
Now, what the agent is saying here is that the car tried to ram him. And as you can clearly see, which you're going to get a closer shot here in a second, he was literally on the side of the car, on the driver's side window of the car. And because the car didn't stop, and it was like a bunch of dumb kids They were scared. They did some drinking. You know, they didn't want to get fucking pulled over and stopped and shit. And yet, that is not justification because, you know, they're trying to pull away, even though there's not an officer in front of the car. That is not justification to shoot somebody. All right? I mean, there's enough law enforcement there to be able to fucking capture this person if they evade. I mean, it looks like there's a whole blockade there. So who shot this kid, this 23-year-old kid, was a DHS agent.
Faces turmoil amid DHS Secretary Kristi Noem being ousted and a funding shutdown dragging into its fourth week. Homeland Security was among the agencies helping direct traffic around this intersection following a crash seen here on surveillance video.
Well, bad crash.
23-year-old Ruben Ray Martinez later drove up and spoke with an officer. That clip has no audio, but another body camera picks up part of the interaction.
Here's the interaction.
The officer alleging Martinez has an open bottle. Multiple cameras then show Martinez driving off towards the intersection.
As you can see, there is no
moments later, the
no
HSI
one in front of the
agent
car.
Identified as Jack Stevens.
No one in front of the car.
The Department of Homeland Security.
No one in front of the car is right there by the driver's side window. Now, look, I'm not making justification for the laws being broken by this kid, but this was not a life or death situation that needed to have lethal force being implemented on an American citizen. And the reason this is happening is because ICE agents and Department of Homeland Security agents are not law enforcement. All right? It's not law enforcement. All right? This officer was not in danger. I don't want to call him an officer. This agent was not in danger at all and killed this person. I mean, I'd much prefer the cops either take the license plate, put an APB, find him and arrest him and have him put to justice instead of having somebody killed. As a matter of fact, there were like 3 or 4 people in that car had to witness this shit. I mean, this is unconstitutional. We have the right to due process. Okay? Now, should the kid have ran? Absolutely not. But when people run, that's when the fucking cops go on a chase. Or sometimes they don't chase them. Sometimes they just take a copy of the damn license plate and find them later and charge them with even more charges. I'm just saying, I mean, the only people that are getting killed in this are American citizens. And I told you all that this ICE beefing up in manpower, the beefing up in money, and it wasn't meant for the immigrants. It was meant for us. It was meant to put a boot over our neck. I tried to tell you that before these fucking people were even implemented in the street. But anyway, look, I've spent enough time on that shit. Let's go ahead and talk about international stuff. Obviously, we all know what's happening here. The biggest military blunder in American history. I'm talking about the U.S. attacks on Iran. Now, look, I know many of you have been trying because, you know, you're contrarians. You think you're smart. You're fucking morons. You really don't listen too much. You only listen to the trolling and, you know, your life is as significant as a fucking carrot. But I know y'all been saying, well, it's Ghost, you were for going to war with Iran. You were. Yes, I was. I was, because this past January, there was an uprising amongst the people, all right, where tens of thousands of people were all over Tehran and all over major cities across Iran. And in that uprising, this fucking idiot Trump decided to say, hey, rise up, help is on the way, in one of his Truth Social posts. So that aggregated the situation even more. And guess what? The United States didn't do a goddamn thing. Didn't do a goddamn thing. And as a result, an estimated 35,000 plus Iranians died. Okay? We lost the war after that right there. And if you listen to the last True Capitalist radio show I had, I said I was no longer down with the Iranian invasion. I said we've lost the element of surprise. We've lost the moral principle of why to go in there, which is to liberate the people. And now we look like we become the bad guy. We look like we've become a terrorist nation state. And let's just take a look. And look, I'll give some positives. Okay, I'll give some positives. I am glad that they took out the Ayatollah. All right? I thought that would have been the easiest thing to do. All right? Here it is. Look at this. Regime scalped how the Ayatollah and his henchmen were obliterated within the first 30 seconds of the Israeli pinpoint strikes after CIA tracked the tyrant. Okay? We should have just went and just did that. And if we truly knew where all their ballistic missiles and all this shit was, we should have hit that in a coordinated attack. Obviously, our intelligence, or obviously whoever was over this operation, did not anticipate the stockpile of mid-range munitions and drones by the Iranians. Okay? Because what has happened up to this point should have never have happened. And let me tell you, I don't think that they would have been able to launch all these missiles had we went in and bombed the Ayatollah when they were raising up in January. And the fact that Trump told them to rise up and keep the fight going, and Trump did nothing about it, we lost the element of being able to take over and have the people help us take over. The people now that are there, they're scared. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to trust. They've tried to trust the West several times in several different uprisings, and the West has done nothing for these people. The West has done nothing for these people. All right, so look, the positive, I'm glad the Ayatollah and his henchmen are gone. The problem is that we kept striking, and as I mentioned on the last broadcast, that they were prepared. I mean, the fact that we allowed them to kill the uprising in January and had them have ample amount of time to prepare for worst case scenario, this is what the consequence was. And the fact that we are now, just over a week into this bombing campaign, and the fact that Iran is still having the capability to not only hit our allies in the Middle East, but hit our bases. The whole reason why we have bases in the Middle East is to protect the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain from Middle Eastern belligerents like Iran. And the fact that our bases are getting hit up and evading radar, evading all kinds of missile defense tech. I mean, they're able to get past all that. It makes us look like we're fucking weak. It makes us look like we aren't the great superpower. That it emboldens, I think, some countries into believing that, look, if Iran can hit their fucking bases and evade detection and evade radar, maybe we can too. And that's what really is the biggest blunder of this military operation. Now, if you take a look at everything that has been hit up to this point, all right, U.S. forces have struck more than 3,000 targets in Iran since Saturday, the U.S. CENTCOM said, which oversees U.S. forces in the region. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says it's launched its attacks on at least 27 bases in the Middle East where U.S. troops were deployed, as well as Israeli military facilities in Tel Aviv and in other parts of Israel. So far, Iran has launched strikes across 9 countries, launched attacks in Bahrain, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. An Iranian drone also struck a runway in a UK military base in Cyprus. Now, most of these attacks have been intercepted, but we have still taken a lot from Iran. And as I stated, the fact that they're still launching mid-range munitions and drones does not make us look very powerful at all. I would have anticipated that we would have been able to eliminate most of this threat. And instead, what we have done is we have made ourselves look very vulnerable, that we can't protect our partners. You know, Ard Hammond, he's in the Middle East. I guess I'll say he's in Kuwait. And Kuwait's taking a lot of attacks. Bahrain's taking a lot of attacks. Qatar, UAE, Oman, all these people are taking attacks, and we were supposed to be there. The whole reason why the United States military bases are there is so that we could protect these folks. And why are we protecting them? You know it, and I know it. The oil. The oil. I mean, you know, on the back of the dollar, it says, "In God we trust." What do you think that means? In God we trust, as in a trust fund. Gold, oil, and drugs. All right? In God we trust. Now data. You can add another D to that data at this point. But look, I think that we need to come to our senses. We should have done it in January. And the fact that we didn't do this in January, we lost the war when Trump opened up his big fat mouth and decided to post for the Iranian people to raise up and help was on the way, and nobody ever came. And the people that would be helping us fight this war right now are all gone. They've been killed. They've been purged, thanks to Trump. It's the biggest military blunder of all time. All right, and anybody who doesn't think so, we have lost face. We have lost face in the international community. I mean, we have shown that our bases are vulnerable just like everybody else's. Our radar isn't any better. Our anti-missile and drone defense isn't any better. I mean, this is a huge black eye. I think it's worse than a black eye. I think it's a fucking broken eye socket for the United States of America. And I am really disappointed in the military planners. I am very disappointed in how Trump conducted his diplomacy. And I think that we need to take our fucking ball and go home. I hate to say that. Now, to save face, I had suggested on Ghost.Report that we need to have a European intermediary, all right, to go in to Iran and try to negotiate some level of a peace deal in order for both sides to walk away as if they're the winners. That's the only way America saves face at this point, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. On the contrary, I think that, Trump's kind of a loose cannon. We really don't know what he's going to do. He says a lot of shit. But one thing that I do want to take to consideration is why we did this to begin with. Why we did this, and why did we wait till the last day of February when we had an uprising of the people in Iran in January? Well, Marco Rubio said something literally the night of, or I should say the day after the first strikes. And it was a very interesting thing that Marco Rubio said, because it's almost as if he was throwing the Department of War, Pete Hegseth, under the bus, and also redefining Trump's objectives of this Iran war. All right, and this was literally, I would say, the night of the bombing. Here's Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Very interesting what he says here. Play it.
The United States conducted this operation with a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles.
Well, that has been a fail up to this point, Rubio. Go ahead.
And the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets.
Well, I think we've obliterated their Navy, but their mid-range ballistic missile and drone capabilities, they have obviously been planning for a long time, and whatever intelligence that we had was absolutely lost, all right? And the fact that they're still fucking able to throw this shit at our neighbors, at our bases, or at the Middle Eastern allies, I meant to say, it just goes to show you that we're not the big badasses. I mean, this is a major failure in military history.
That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now.
Why?
The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond.
Now, did you hear that? He said we had foreknowledge that if Iran was attacked by anyone, that they would launch anything. He said U.S., Israel. Wait a minute. Israel? What?
And respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true, because in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack.
Wait, whoa. What'd you say? We knew there was going to be an Israeli action? So, wait a minute. Hold on. We didn't go in to liberate the Iranian people. So, it all comes clear now why we waited up to this point. Because according to Marco Rubio, literally the night of the fucking attacks, Rubio said that, look, we knew that if somebody attacked Iran, America, Israel, whoever, and then he said that we knew there was going to be attack by Israel, so we preemptively struck. Did y'all know this? Huh?
Against American forces, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
Now, the literal morning after, okay, obviously, I don't know, Hegseth, somebody got to Trump's ear and was like, did you hear what Marco Rubio said? You got to clarify this, Trump. He said we bombed Iran because of Israel. So you got to rectify this. So the next morning after those comments by Marco Rubio, Trump was hosting the prime minister, or I should say the chancellor of Germany, in the Oval Office. And this is what Trump said in response to Marco Rubio suggesting that Israel was going to strike. That's why we preemptively struck. All right? Listen to this fucking outright dementia-ridden lie. Listen.
Force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see...
the question was, did Israel force your hand to attack Iran? And he said, no, I actually forced their hand. I mean, give me a break. And I'll show you how he's lying in a second. Go ahead, play it. Play the rest.
We were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successfully.
All right. So he denies that Israel forced his hand, and he says, if anything, I forced their hand. Okay, you heard that, right? Well, it's very funny because he says literally days later this shit. He literally said this like 2 days ago. What was this? They said this actually yesterday. All right, listen to this shit. All right, talk about dementia-ridden idiot. Listen to this. He literally said this yesterday.
Years they've been killing our people and killing people from all over the world, and I think we have great support. And I think if we didn't do it first, they would have done it to Israel and give us a shot if that was possible.
You see that? I mean, he's admitting it. He's admitting it. All right? Now, look, even though I'm acknowledging that, Trump is obviously a puppet for Benjamin Netanyahu and shit, I would like to point out that I'm not trying to blame the Jews for this, all right? Because believe it or not, just as much shit that Trump is getting right now when it comes to this war with the irregular American people, Benjamin Netanyahu is having just as much opposition over there in Israel when it comes to this Iran war. And there are a bunch of folks going out there trying to raise up, trying to show that, they're not necessarily down with all this bullshit. And as a matter of fact, it's not just because of the Iranians. It's the fucking fact that Benjamin Netanyahu is a corrupt piece of shit. And he usurped the justice system as prime minister in order for he and his son not to be prosecuted by the Israeli justice system. And that's why right now, everything that Benjamin Netanyahu is doing, it is at the complete opposition to the Israeli people. So I just want to put that on record, but we have to acknowledge, and I just want to show you this. Look at this. Israeli police, hold on just a second, my bad. Israeli police shut down anti-Iran war protests in Tel Aviv after far-right agitators crash rally. And of course, the far-right agitators are the Hasidic Jewish contingent, which don't even want to be drafted into this war. And yet they're the hardliners. So I just want to say that Israel as a whole is not for this. They don't even like Benjamin Netanyahu, and they can't get rid of him. They can't get rid of him. They've been protesting. I would like to remind everybody that the weekend prior to October 7th,
I'd buy that for a
the weekend prior to October 7th, we had a massive protest over there in Israel with about almost 500,000 people protesting the corruption of Benjamin Netanyahu. And then the October 7th attacks happened, and then the rest is history. Okay? Now, going back to Rubio attempting to throw Hegseth under the bus and suggesting that Israel is the reason why we preemptively struck, it's no wonder we're getting reports that Hegseth and Rubio are at each other's throats. All right? Because, look, I think that Marco Rubio is a very astute student of foreign policy. I mean, if you take a look at his testimony during his time to be when he was questioned to become the Secretary of State, he was very well aware of all the things that are happening in the international community. I mean, he was very aware of everything. And he has to know that this strike really puts America in a very bad situation. I think that we lose our superpower status after this attack on Iran. Because, look, nobody is going to trust us. We were supposed to be there in the Middle East. All these bases in the Middle East were there to protect the country so we could protect their oil assets and protect American investment. I mean, lest we forget that the whole reason why UAE is because they convinced enough wealthy, I'm talking filthy rich people to move there. And if you take a look at some of the scenes that are happening out there in the Dubai airport, everybody and their brother is trying to leave the country. And it's so bad that the UAE is now jailing anybody who posts videos or pictures on social media of any of the Iranian or drone missile attack damage on any of the infrastructure or buildings out there in the UAE. All right? So, I mean, it is getting bad. All right, I mean, it's getting fucking bad. I mean, now you've got Bahrain, you've got Saudi Arabia, UAE, and other countries in the Middle East that are now talking about stepping back away from America. I mean, they're talking about us leaving and taking our bases with us because they thought that the bases that we supplied them were going to protect them. And instead, they're finding out that it paints a target on them. So this is very bad for the United States of America. I don't give a shit what you magatards try to spin it as. We are no longer the superpower. This makes us look fucking horrible. All right? It makes us look like shit. All right? Look at this. Iran is hitting the radars that underpin U.S. missile defenses. So, I mean, we don't have missile defenses. We don't have radar that can stop simple mid-range munitions and fucking drones. I mean, come on, man. We look horrible out here. We look fucking horrible. And I'm telling you right now, and this has already been speculated by some, I think that Trump is, he's 80 years old. I don't think, and I've said this in 24, I think that he's going to come back and try to throw the country into the ground because he feels that the country should have rose up in 2020 and there should have been a, January 6th rise up and a revolution and all that shit. It didn't come to pass. And then he had to deal with a whole bunch of legal blowback because of it, didn't like it. And now, as I mentioned, everything that Trump is doing is literally kamikazing the country into oblivion. And you can't say that this has anything to do with incompetence or ignorance. It is absolutely deliberate. Absolutely deliberate. So, I mean, I hope somebody in the administration or in the fucking military comes to their senses and recognizes that we dropped the ball on the Iranian attack. If we would have done it, we should have done it in January when we could have had and co-opted the people. We could have dropped arms. We could have done a bunch of stuff for these people to raise up and prevent a lot of these goddamn missile attacks that are attacking our bases and our Middle Eastern fucking allies, dude. So once again, this is what America looks like. I mean, I told you all this was going to happen. I said we're going to start looking like the pariahs of the world. And that's what's happening. All right? That's what's happening. And guess who's fucking, guess what Trump's answer is? All right? Earlier this week, when asked, look, they're not giving up, and it's been reported that we, the United States, are running out of mid-range munitions. We are running out of anti-missile defense missiles. I'm not joking around. So Trump had to come out and say the following. Trump claims America can fight forever, but munitions are limited. He's like, we can fight forever. Don't worry. Fight forever? I mean, isn't what you fucking magatards voted against? Isn't that the core message that you morons got out when you were voting for this guy? That you were voting to anti-war? There's going to be no more wars? Hey, look at this. This is the neocon mentality that you people criticize me of having. The bad part about it is that this guy blundered this military operation because of his big fat mouth, and now he doesn't know what the fuck to do. Now he has no idea. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. And guess what? Everybody in MAGA, at least the MAGA people that were anti-war, they got sick of this. They were like, are you fucking kidding me? Give me a break. So what happened? Fucking Trump had to bring out Pete Hegseth to say this, to assure people the following. Take a look at this. I mean, this goes to show you that Trump obviously has like dementia or some shit. Because he says one thing and they have to come in and reiterate something else. Take a look at this. Hegseth insists the Iran conflict is not endless, while warning more casualties are likely. All right? So you don't know whether you're coming or going with the fucking Trump, dude. All right? I mean, this guy is completely off his gourd. I am really surprised anybody still takes orders from this guy, or fucking Hegseth for that matter. All right? This guy is a fucking drunk fucking sexual predator, all right, that had to settle out of court on an alleged rape charge at some fucking hotel where he was speaking at the Republican Women's Convention, all right? This fucking guy couldn't even keep it in his pants at the Republican Women's Convention, and yet he's the guy out here fucking going out, fucking acting completely incompetent. He's probably fucking on that stupid Telegram or wherever the fuck he fucking communicates from, directing all this shit. So let me tell you something, man. I am disgusted at what this fucking administration has done to America's foreign policy, what they've done to America's superpower status. All right? And by the way, where the fuck is fat ass Vance in all this shit? Remember, he was the guy that said this once upon a time. Let me go fucking recollect your memory on that shit. All right? Let me recollect your memory on this shit. All right, and this aged like fine wine. This is actually not like fine wine, but like old milk. Take a look at this. All right, here's J.D. Vance, all right, on the campaign trail in Pennsylvania where supposedly Trump got an assassination attempt. I don't know if you still believe that. I didn't believe it, but, y'all are idiots. But anyway, take a look at this. Here's J.D. Vance. All right, put the PC shot on. This is the same guy that said this. All right, listen to this. Listen good.
My honest guidance to those young men, and I think their concerns are very legitimate, but if you're worried about the world spinning out of control, if you're worried about a military draft, if you're worried about, God forbid, a world war, the best way to prevent it is to vote for Donald Trump. I really believe that. My honest guidance.
And all of you people that are calling me a Democrat in here, I mean, I am proving to you that this idiot has gone against everything he campaigned on. And the only thing that you're literally hanging on to is his fucking shriveled up cock. Because there's nothing to hold on to anymore. Everything that he fucking said he was going to do, he's done the complete opposite. Exactly like Obama. Exactly like Obama. That's why I said throughout the 2024 campaign that Trump 2024 looks a hell of a lot like Obama 2008. And if you take a look at the people that are funding Trump in 2024, the same fuckers that were funding Obama in 2028. So I wasn't surprised by all this shit. I tried to tell you all this was going to happen. Of course, y'all are American idiots. Y'all are arrogant, ignorant fucking people that are entitled to think you know everything when you don't know shit. And by the way, where is J.D. Vance? Take a look at this. Vance silent on Iran war amidst claims of split within Trump. I've already told you that there's massive discord amongst Marco Rubio and Hegseth. So obviously, we haven't heard much from J.D. Vance here. So, I mean, he has to know that he put his fucking name on the line when he campaigned in that capacity, which I just showed you. All right? So let me tell you something right now. You people that voted for Trump, I hope there's a world war, and you people should be the first ones drafted. All right? And by the way, if you're truly MAGA, go out right now and join the military. All right? All right, join the military and fight the war that you people voted in. Right now, you MAGA-tards, and guess what? You're not going to do it. Every time I mention that we should assert ourselves militarily, all of you idiots are saying, oh, I'm not serving, I'm going to dodge the draft. The same people that voted for Trump. This is why America sucks. This is why the American people are really the destruction and the destructors of America. And as I stated, I don't see any way out of this. I don't see any way out of this other than we have to replace the American people with people that actually care about the Constitution, that care about law and order, that care about the civility of this country. We need people that care. That's the only way we're going to save this country. All right? That's the only way we're going to save this country. Because, look, I'll be honest with you. All right? I just told you that we have all this disgusting evidence of Epstein and his sexual predator friends and his fucking child sex trafficking ring, and you people are still supporting the people that are all named in that goddamn fucking pile of documents. And you ain't saying shit, you ain't doing shit. And by the way, going back to Iran, we were supposed to liberate these people. Now we're looking like the fucking terrorist state. Have you taken a look at that? Put the PC shot on. Video shows U.S. Tomahawk missile striking next to the fucking school, girls' school in Iran. Now, lest we forget that Trump was on a plane here recently denying that happened. Here's the fucking video. Here's the video. Look at it. There's the video. Okay? There's the video. It looks like a fucking Tomahawk. All right, there it is. All right, there's the fucking damage right here. There's the school. All right? I mean, we're looking like the bad guys out here. We're looking like the bad guys. Okay, let's just say that's collateral damage. Okay, all right, that's collateral damage. It's war, that sort of thing. What the fuck? What the hell is this? All right? What the fuck is this? I'm going to show you what... This is actually Israel that did this. All right? This is actually Israel that did this. I don't know if we had this okay, but we struck like... or at least Israel struck at least like 5 or 6 gas oil fields. Okay? Take a look at what the fuck it looks like in Tehran right now. Take a look at this shit. Take a look at this shit. That's what it looks like right now in Tehran. How the fuck are we liberating people? By destroying their infrastructure and poisoning their fucking atmosphere. All right? I mean, how are we doing this? How are we doing this crap? It's just, it's insane. And by the way, put the PC shot on. Axios had reported, breaking, the U.S. is dismayed by Israeli strikes on 30 Iranian, I thought it was less than that, 30 Iranian depots on Saturday, sparking the first significant disagreement between the allies since the war began. Okay? Details include the strikes reportedly went far beyond what the U.S. expected when Israel notified it in advance. 2, we don't think it was a good idea, a senior U.S. official said. 3, an Israeli officer said the U.S. message to Israel was WTF. 4, the president doesn't like the attack. He wants to save the oil. He doesn't want to burn it. And it reminds people of high gas prices, a Trump advisor said. So, obviously, Trump is now recognizing that Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli peeps, or at least the Israeli forces or the Mossad, whoever's in charge over there, doesn't really give a shit about him now, all right? All right, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do what we want. We're going to do what we want. All right? And by the way, take a look at this. Because they've knocked out all those oil fields and they're burning, Iranians warn of acid rain after massive fuel depot fire as oil falls from the sky. as oil falls from the sky. So we not only lost the war before it even started by Trump telling the people who were rising up in January to keep rising up and help was on the way and no one came, but also we are now losing our superpower status as moral people. I mean, one thing America was always good at was trying to show optically that even though we're going into a conflict, we are going to do everything that we can to prevent any kind of destruction or pain or acts against humanity. We were against all that shit. This is acts against humanity here. And this is why I'm somewhat tongue-tied, because I never thought that America was ever capable of this. And look, whether it was Israel or whether it was us, we're going to get blamed for it. We're going to get blamed for it. And we're going to get blamed for the Iranian acid rain. We're going to get blamed for whoever fucking dies because of this. We're going to get blamed for whoever died in these attacks. I mean, we've already, I've just shown you proof, bombed a girls' school. All right, this is not what I intended to think about when it came to going into Iran to liberate these folks. All right, we've lost. All right, even if we fucking blow the whole fucking shit off, even if we nuke the place, we've lost. Because then it's going to show the rest of the world that we are the international belligerents, that we are a terrorist state, and it's going to motivate people to coalesce around, I don't know, China, Russia, or everybody in international consortium to multilaterally attack the United States to stop us from doing what we're doing. And I said that was going to happen in 2024. I said that we were going to be the pariahs of the world. Didn't I say that? I said we were going to be the pariahs of the world. Take a look at us now. Take a look at us now. We're acting like a damn terrorist state. And not only did I hate to say we, but it's an Israeli-U.S. operation. Not only did we bomb 30 fucking oil fields, but guess what? The Iranians are alleging that, I believe it was Israel, but they're claiming the United States because it's a dual operation, that we bomb their desalination plants. Now, for all those that don't know, they have water plants that take salt water and turn it into drinking water because they're in the middle of a desert. They're in the middle of a desert. So once, whether it was Israel or United States forces targeted the desalination plants of Iran, Iran went right at Bahrain and other desalination plants in the Middle East. So we're going from a warlike situation where our allies in the Middle East are taking mid-range munitions and drone strikes to now it's going to turn into a fucking crisis about drinking water. There is no drinking water in the fucking desert. So let me tell you, this is an all-out destruction of the region. And I think that, I don't know whether Trump knew this or not, okay? I tend to believe he did because of his audacity and his abrasiveness in his fucking linguistics, all right? But let me tell you, I always admired the last Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. And the reason I say that is because Antony Blinken said recently that the Israelis tried to do the same thing to both the Obama administration and the Biden administration, suggesting that there's an imminent threat and that the United States needs to bomb Iran now to prevent the Iranian threat. And according to Blinken, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Thank God they didn't do it, but they didn't do it. Because, look, the only way that you're going to be able to attack Iran and be able to be successful is if the people rise up. And unfortunately, the people that rose up in January are all dead. And no one's going to rise up anymore. They are living in complete fear of the regime, and they don't want to be targeted. So for Trump now to start bombing and then calling for them to rise up, they're not going to fucking rise up. And we're not going to have any internal help. And that's why you got Trump entertaining the idea of throwing ground forces in there. All right, I'm not joking. They're considering throwing ground forces in there. And let me tell you, leaked spy report warns Trump Iran's war is a fucking disaster. It'll be a disaster because how we did this was wrong at the beginning. We lost the war in January. We lost the war in January. We should have went in January, and I think that we would have been a hell of a lot more effective. I think we could have prevented a lot of these missile launches by arming the people, dropping arms on the people, and having them go after the authority, having them go after these places. But no, we done goofed. We done goofed, and this is one of the worst military blunders in American history, because just by some simple fucking mid-range missiles and fucking drones, America looks like a paper tiger. How the hell we were not able to stop these things at our bases, it's just mind-boggling to me. That should be horrifying for everybody that lives anywhere outside of America. All right, because that's why America had these presence in these countries in order to prevent this type of shit from happening. And the fact that Iran made it look so easy to be able to attack our bases is not a good fucking sign. It's not a good sign, man. All right, so we look like a terrorist nation state. All right, we're bombing, oil fields, acid rain on the people. We're going to fucking dehydrate them by bombing their desalination plants. I mean, no wonder you've got these fucking people defiant. Take a look at this. Defiant loyalists blast Trump's delusional fantasies as he warns U.S. we will not negotiate. We're not going to negotiate. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you heard the foreign minister earlier last week when interviewed by NBC, when asked, the United States troops is considering, sending in ground troops. What do you have to say about that? Very interesting response, what he said. All right? Because you would think that we have thrown, we're almost depleting our fucking mid-range missiles. I'm not joking around. That's why I told you earlier Trump had to come out and say we could fight endless wars, because we're depleting our fucking mid-range missiles, man. All right? I'm not joking around. So I think people should really be concerned about this fucking war, and something has to be done. I've tried to suggest what can be done, but only time will tell if that's actually going to work. Anyway, this is the foreign minister of Iran, and he was interviewed by NBC. When asked about ground forces, here's what his response was. All right, let's go ahead and play it. Here it is.
Boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
We're waiting for him.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade, the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
And he doesn't look...
So you're saying that Iran is...
And look, either this guy has a good poker face, or they're seriously waiting for us to invade. Either or, whoever this foreign minister is worth his money. They're, I don't know, fucking goats or whatever they pay him.
Ready and willing to take on the U.S. military if there were to be ground troops?
Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war. So you can see,
Now, do you hear what he said? That they prepared for this. They prepared from the last war, which was what? Last summer or some shit, right? Around last summer? They've had a chance to fucking prepare for worst case scenario. That's what I said on the show last time I was doing True Capitals Radio. That they are prepared for worst case scenario, and now that they've eliminated any domestic upheaval that could happen from their domestic population, they're ready. They're ready. So I don't know what the fuck Trump is going to do at this point in time. He put himself in a fucking catch-22 position, because no matter what he does at this point, it's never going to look good. It's never going to look good. Now, what they're telling us now, and I think everybody should be very vigilant, is that supposedly Iran is activating sleeper cells outside the country. Now, I want to warn you that anybody who is perpetrating any kind of terrorist act on America and claims that they're ISIS, that is not Iran. Lest we forget that Iran is a Shiite variant Islamic religious sect, meaning that they are the complete antithesis of what is represented by ISIS, which is Salafist Sunni Muslim. So they would not be, committing acts of terrorism for Shiites. They would be doing it for the Sunni-based terrorist organizations that are trying to take over more and more countries in the Middle East. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. And also, lest we forget that ISIS and Al-Qaeda are our satellites, okay? And by the way, I guess he's still the Al-Qaeda leader, but now the leader of Syria is now entering this operation as well. So the whole fucking region is now going to shit, which is the whole reason why we went into to begin with, to prevent this type of powder keg from blowing up. So let me tell you something. Now that we've got so-called sleeper cells in the country, this should make you sleep well at night. Our incompetent fucking director of the FBI, Kash Patel, gutted the FBI counterintelligence team tasked with tracking Iranian threats just days before the U.S. strikes. Look, our domestic capability of preventing attacks like this are down. I just reported earlier that the DHS is on some kind of a non-funding situation where it's shut down right before the FIFA soccer shit that's about to happen here in the United States, which, in my opinion, looks like an attractive target to some terrorist nutcases out there. And it seems to me that, not necessarily funding the DHS, Kash Patel gutting the FBI counterintelligence team, it kind of shows that this may be in the works. And this, in my opinion, if the FIFA events are targeted, this will be the justification for martial law, shutdown of the entire country. Remember, I said the only thing that I prognosticated in 2024 was another shutdown. That could be in play here. And suspend the 2026 elections. And it would have to be a very spectacular terrorist attack. I'm talking multi events at one in synchronization in order to shock it all America to be okay, just like we were with fucking shitty COVID. Okay, I'll stay in my house. I won't do shit. I don't mind that tanks are running down the street and fucking people with fucking machine guns are walking down the street. So all I'm simply stating is be vigilant on this, because the FBI conveniently gutted the counterintelligence team tasked with these types of threats, and the Department of Homeland Security is currently not funded. So just something to chew the fat on. But going back to what Trump can do about ending this situation, I said that they need, this is my opinion, I think that we approach Europe. Europe sends in an intermediary diplomat that is very trustworthy, that has visited Iran before, and have them negotiate a ceasefire and an eventual peace agreement. And this way, Iran goes away and acts like it won, and the United States can go away and act like it won, and everybody saves face. Although I don't think that the optical damage that has been done by the incompetence of Trump, and I hate to say whoever's in charge of the military, it makes us that much more vulnerable.
Buy that for $1.
All right, it makes us that much more vulnerable. And by the way, Antony Blinken, one of my favorite secretaries of state. Nobody messed with America when he was the Secretary of State, and we were implementing his foreign policy, but Trump fucked up everything he built. So this is his suggestion. This is Antony Blinken's suggestion for Trump if he doesn't know what to do. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. Play this here. Here it is.
Look, this has been a long story when it comes to Iran. And back during the Obama administration, the Israelis were pushing President Obama to take military action against Iran, and were warning that they would do it themselves if he didn't. And he wouldn't, because he thought the better way to get at the nuclear program, which is what we were focused on, was through very muscular diplomacy backed up by very, very strong sanctions that we rallied the world to put in place. And then we got the Iran nuclear agreement.
Yeah, well, that's the Iranian situation that prevented Israel from doing what fucking the Israelis wanted us to do at that time. All right? That's why I kept showing you that Trump, even though he tried to contradict Rubio, he did admit that, yeah, we did it because Israel was going to attack, and we had to preemptively go in before they attacked so that we could prevent more deaths, supposedly. And there you saw Antony Blinken say they tried to do that shit to us. They tried to do that shit to us. That's why MAGA now is using those comments by Blinken in order to justify why this huge fuck up by Trump happened. Okay? And moreover, this is the clip I was actually looking for here. This is Blinken's advice to Trump on what to do at this point, given the fucking mess he's made in foreign policy. Put the PC shot on. Here it is. Let's take a look at this.
And then what is that off-ramp? I think the president may simply declare victory. He'll say, got rid of the Ayatollah. We diminished or degraded or destroyed their nuclear program again. We did the same thing to the missile program. We did the same thing to the Navy. And as to the regime, well, over to the Iranian people. Good luck to them. Hope they succeed. And if they don't, it's their fault. If they do, we'll take the credit. How Iran responds to that remains to be seen.
I mean, look, I suggested that we use diplomacy. This will give us back good graces with Europe after we took a shit on them for the past year by helping us kind of end this conflict and having us look, good. I do believe that Trump may be taking Antony Blinken's advice. I don't know if y'all saw this today, but this is the reason why the markets went up towards the end of the day. Did y'all take a look at this? All right. Trump says Iran war will end very soon, predicts lower oil prices. I mean, give me a break. I mean, he's going to take Antony Blinken's advice. He's like, look, these fucking jokers that I have around me are all arguing with each other. All right, let's just fucking end it. Or it could mean that Trump may have gotten a little perturbed by the Israelis bombing those fucking oil fields and bombing the desalinization plants over there in Iran, that maybe Trump's taking a step back from this and knows that, he got played. All right, Mr. Art of the Deal, which is kind of, I don't know how many fucking good deals that he's made. But, yeah, I mean, maybe that. It could be that. I have no idea. But even if we pull out, much like what Blinken said, at this point, we lose tremendous face. The fact that our fucking bases got hit up goes to show you that we are vulnerable. And we aren't, the big superpower that's, you can't take us out. You can't hurt us. And let me tell you, that is going to linger with our military, our United States assets internationally for a long, long time. A long time. Now, I mean, if this was all that needed to be, why don't we just hit up the fucking Ayatollah? All right, maybe they threw a couple of drones, couple of missiles. All right, we negotiate and say, hey, we just wanted the fucking theocratic regime of the Ayatollah gone. And much like Blinken said, let the fucking Iranians and the people and the government figure out what they want to do. We didn't do that. This is the biggest military blunder in American history. And even if Trump does what Antony Blinken says, I don't think that we go away unscathed at all. Like I said, I think that we need Europe. I hate to say that. To talk one-on-one with the president over there, whoever the fuck's in charge, and then come up with some kind of an agreement to where it formally ends this shit, and we both save face. We both save face. Us pulling out right now and declaring victory, it shows that we're tucking tail between our legs and leaving, dude. tuck and tail and leaving. Anyway, let me get to some of these donos. I know I've been kind of ignoring them because I've been wanting to relay a lot of this information. I want to say cheers to Jones, who hooked it up with 5 gifted subs over there at Rumble, dude. Cheers to you and happy Monday, and thank you for chilling with us on this Monday edition of the True Capitalist Radio Show. I want to remind everybody that we are going to be live. I'm going to try to do every Monday, 5 p.m.-ish, Central Standard United States, Texas time. If you want to listen to this live. Anyway, let us continue. We got, let me get to some of these Rumble rants. We got, what is this, Chainsaw Fan Man? So it'd be most profitable and, yes, financially easy, honestly, to just leave it at McDonald's. What are your thoughts on moving that $10K to a growth stock mutual fund? No. All right? I mean, if you've got McDonald's and they pay dividends, or move it into a dividend stock. And cheers to Purple Juice. Trolling the interwebs, it's sad. It's us and them, Ghost. It always will be. Don't worry, bro. I got your back. Thank you, man. And we got Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I did your Rumble rant, dude. Blades Colin, look at this Peckerwood dweeb on the right. He's talking about the guy that was in back of Senator Kennedy during that exchange with Nome. Cocktroop, just another USA Forever war. And there's old man Frank calling me communist radio. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. And Twinkle Twat, I don't think this war will stop until the U.S. forcefully installs a government that would suck them off. Why? I think the oil is the biggest factor. Well, I just showed you that 30 oil fields are up in flames, and now you've got acid rain coming down from the sky over there. This doesn't look good. And Ray636, in my opinion, Ghost, we can convince and tell ourselves how great America is, but honestly, it is all shit. Well, I would say the people are. Not America, not our forefathers, not our history. The current crop of people that are American people are not the best people that we've ever had in this country. I'll be honest with you. And Cocktroop, I'm once again asking for you to press D to dodge the draft. All right. You don't need to say that. And trolling the interwebs, Ghost, school and hospital bombing is the Israeli way. Complaining about it is anti-Semitic. That's bullshit. All right, that's bullshit. And feminist socialists unban me from X. Well, say something worth the shit. I don't care if you're against what I say. Say something worth the shit. Especially if I post some serious shit and you're fucking trolling, I'm going to ignore you on fucking X. I'm tired of this shit. I'm so tired. We're in serious times, and you fucking idiots want to fucking take the troll shit into the serious realm. Fuck you. All right? Fuck you. Anyway, let me get to some of these buy me a coffees that came in. We got this Moon Man asshole. How do you feel about USA, you created, you N-word? Random McFlando, we need a TCR regularly. Russia directly providing intel to Iran pulls enough players into the gauntlet to qualify as World War III. Well, did you hear Trump about that? Trump says, it's not a big deal. That's what Trump said about fucking Russia giving intel to Iran. So this guy's still sucking Putin's cock even after all this shit. I mean, this is just ridiculous. How is anybody taking orders from this? Anyway, you could be in Virginia and not even see a fucking nuke go off in D.C. The Mossad pager technology is installed on a large portion of U.S. devices. They're waiting to blow our hands off. This isn't even considering all the cyber sandbagging bullshit or the EMP. It isn't a coincidence that shit freezes and crashes so much. Well, very interesting there, Rando McFlando. Here since 2010. Hey, real honest talk for a sec. You're part of an internet that is sadly doesn't exist anymore. Thank you for still doing this in 2026. It's always a nostalgia hit to tune in, reminding me of better days that have gone by. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that here since 2010, but I tried to tell everybody. I've been on here since 2008 trying to tell everybody about this shit, and everybody thought it was a fucking joke. Well, there you go. And True Snooze Radio, I already got to the market, you jerk. And Rando McFlando, if you're interested, watch this interview by Sean Ryans and Sarah Adams and break it all down in about 3 hours. Thank you for a carpet munching Monday. Thank you, Rando McFlando. All right, folks. Well, anyway, last thing we talked about was Trump claiming the Iranian war will end very soon, predicts lower oil prices. Well, they ain't coming around anytime soon. I mean, the whole like supply chain system of getting oil from point A to point B has been so disrupted that, you know, you've got the Kuwaitis shutting down production. You've got the Saudi Arabians shutting down oil production. We ain't going to see low oil prices for a long time. All right? So Trump, I mean, if he's going to talk about lower oil prices soon, it's about this strategic oil release that not only the United States, but European and Asian countries are doing in order to offset this disruption in the supply of oil. Now, unfortunately, in this Iranian conflict, we have suffered some United States soldier casualties. And I don't know if y'all saw the so-called dignified transfer of these fallen members of the military, but everybody took offense to this. Take a look at this. Donald Trump ripped for behavior at dignified transfer. Take your fucking hat off. I mean, what are you doing with the hat on? All right, your soldiers coming in. And by the way, there's been reports, I'm not joking, that he pissed and shit himself. As you can see, Witkoff back here. Do you see Witkoff? Look at Witkoff. All right, look at Melania. Look at that fucking Wiles. I mean, they have to smell him. I mean, you could say, oh, God, remember, this is an 80-year-old man. This is an 80-year-old man with obvious health problems. He's got some black shit on the back of his hand. He looked like he had some fucking herpes rash on his neck here recently. He's not doing good. And this guy is in charge of making the decisions for all this shit. I'm not joking. I'm not just saying that. I am not just saying that. It was alleged. I mean, if you can look down here, that somebody has another high-res picture where it looks like there's like a dark spot, like he pissed himself. So if you're old and you piss yourself, you probably shit yourself. And look at, there's Witkoff. Like, oh my God. Oh. I mean, he's taking the back wind of that shit. He's taking the back wind of that. And look at Wiles over here. She's got to kind of fucking move her head a little bit more to the right so she doesn't get that fucking, that draft right up in the nostrils. So anyway, there we at. I mean, why would you wear a hat? I'll tell you why. He doesn't want that skunk-headed fucking wig or fucking rodent that he has on his head to fly off, all right, when the damn plane lands or some shit. You fucking piece of crap. Dignified transfer, by the way. Dignified transfer. Jesus Christ. All right, let's continue. Let's go ahead and talk about some other countries here. Let's talk about Europe. Europe mixed response to Iran war draws Trump's fury towards the United States allies. I think Trump has come to realize that Europe is important. Yeah, no shit. All right? Because Europe they weren't down with this. That's why they're not getting hit up by Iran. This is why I've been saying that we should use one of these folks in the European Union to go into Iran as a diplomatic intermediary in order for us to mend relations with Europe, in order for Europe to look important, and in order for this whole conflict to go away, where we can at least save some kind of face. Some kind of face. All right, and I'm glad that, you know, Trump, even though he detests Europe, I'm not a big fan of Europe either. But you have to understand foreign policy 101. All right, what makes the America strong is the Pax Americana that we have with Europe and the life that the West offers. And the fact that Trump and his administration turned their backs on Europe like that it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's why I'm saying, if we get hit up, and I said it at 24, if you don't believe me, look back in the archive. If we get hit up at this point, all right, badly, no one would care. As a matter of fact, I think the international community would actually help whoever the perpetrators were at this point in time who hit America. We have become such a fucking pariah in the international community. I think the damage has already been done. I mean, unless we get a new president that, you know, kind of does a whole 180 on this current foreign policy, I think that this damage is irreparable. And as time goes by, and as Trump continues to this ridiculous, literally retarded foreign policy, it's going to hurt America in the long term. As a matter of fact, the longer this goes, our superpower status is over. Our superpower status is over. So I hope that you all, I don't know, love this guy's skunk head or whatever got you funny in the pants voting for this dude in 24, because you people that voted for Trump are the reason why this country is being destroyed and it's being kamikazed. It's your fucking fault. And let me tell you, if you have any family members or friends that tried to rub this MAGA shit in your face this past 2024, you need to rub that shit in their face. You need to rub everything that this guy campaigned on that he's doing the complete opposite of. You need to rub it in their face. All right? You need to rub it in their fucking face. These pieces of trash that voted for this guy ruined this country. And I'm voting for anybody. I swear to God, I'm voting for anybody in 26 that promises to investigate and prosecute each and every one of these people that helped Trump get away with this crap. All right, now that NOM is no longer the Department of Homeland Security, I think that should be the number one target right now when it comes to deposition, when it comes to subpoenas, I meant to say, subpoena her back to a goddamn committee and force her to testify under oath. All right? I don't give a shit if it's Democrats, Republicans, Independents. I don't give a shit if it's the Libertarian Party. I don't give a shit if it's the Green Party. I don't give a shit who it is. All right? I want people prosecuted who trampled on the Constitution, who fucking destroyed America's foreign policy, who destroyed America's economy. I want people prosecuted. For the love of God, this has been one of the worst administrations in American history, and I thought that was designated for Obama. I mean, this is the worst administration, has done more damage to this country than 8 years of Obama. 1 year of this administration has done worse for this country than 8 years of Obama. So let me tell you something right now. I don't care who is out there. I don't care. As long as you promise to investigate and prosecute each and every one of these people. All right? I'm talking Hegseth. All right? Because he now, in my opinion, is a war criminal. The fact that he's allowed this type of indiscriminate bombing and has now bombed girls' schools and his body. I mean, he needs to be prosecuted. He went against everything America stood for, everything that made America exceptionalist.
I'd buy that for $1.
Jesus Christ! And hold on, I got some donos here. Buy me a coffee. The issue with this war is that Trump's nose is so far up the ass of Benjamin Netanyahu. Well, I think that's more than obvious. I think that's what I kind of alluded to earlier in the broadcast. And Blades Colon, I just truly want Israel to, I'm not going to say that. If Trump somehow nukes Israel, he'll be 100% redeemed. I'm not saying that. All right? No, I'm not saying that. But anyway, once again, Europe, not too happy with the bilateral offensive on Iran between the United States and Israel. And by the way, take a look at this. Europe is not taking any chances. EU ministers are eyeing oil reserves to contain energy prices and inflation as Iran war wages. So what you're seeing now is a potential energy crisis in the European Union. Now, luckily, we're getting out of the winter, and this is not going to be a huge problem. But if it gets down to the wintertime and these prices continue to go high or stay at these levels, Europe is going to have a major fucking problem in the winter. And we could see a lot of people freeze to death. It could be a very serious situation. So this, Iran strike has more consequences than just people in the region. It has worldwide consequences, for Christ's sake. Because the Strait of Hormuz, which is actually in Iran territory, there are no cargo ships going in and out of that strait. And it doesn't just supply oil in that strait. It also supplies food. It also supplies food. And you see, as long as this continues to go on and no shipping goes through that Strait of Hormuz, we could potentially be causing a massive international hunger situation. I'm not joking around. The longer this goes, People are not going to have food delivered in certain countries. We could be starving the world to death because of this.
I'd
All right.
buy that for $1.
Hold on. We got a couple of people here that are donating Buy Me a Coffee. Anyway, cheers to everybody out there who's listening to the broadcast. Goyim Warriors said, why don't you admit that it is Israel that's destroying this country for their own agendas? I'm not blaming all the Israeli people. All right, I do believe that Bibsy has played Trump, played him like a fiddle. Maybe he's got the fucking Epstein video rapes or what. I don't know what he has on him. All right, but Trump has done nothing but Benjamin Netanyahu's bidding. But I'm not putting the whole Israeli people into that category. The Israeli people have been trying their damnedest, even before October 7th, to try to fucking put Benjamin Netanyahu in jail. So I wouldn't put all the Israelis in there, all right? And Randall McFlando, they already said that they're tapping into the oil reserve. Yeah, I know they are. I know they are. That's why Trump is saying that prices are going to go lower here shortly, because he's going to tap into the fucking oil reserve. But anyway, once again, EU and the Europeans are not liking what's going on here in the Iran war. I mean, did you take a look at Sweden? Sweden says to its citizens, prepare for the worst, told to expect crisis and to keep cash on hand. All right, so, I mean, this is how serious this Iran war is to the rest of the world. The Strait of Hormuz. Can you believe that shit? That's why the longer this goes, aside from us losing face, because, you know, we're not necessarily being the most humanitarian in this operation, but also people are going to have bad taste in their mouth because our attack has fucked up their way of life. So I'm telling you, man, this is the biggest fucking blunder. All right? Biggest fucking military blunder in American history. And Cornbread Man said, I hope everybody's stocked up. I'm telling you right now, this is not good. All right? And we caused this. America caused this, by the way. I mean, did they not think about this shit? Did they not think about this shit? I mean, Europe is going to be in an energy crisis the longer this damn conflict goes. But guess who it helps? Huh? Guess who emerges as the big winner while we look like the bad guy? Russia. That's right, Russia. While fucking Trump was literally sucking this guy's schlong head and literally taking his side in the Ukraine war, it has now made Putin the good guy. Take a look at this. How Russia emerges as an early winner in the Iran war. How is that? Well, because we are doing more damage, optical damage, than what Russia has done in a regional war. You understand? Our conflict has affected more countries, all right, when it comes to missiles and drones, than what Russia has done in this region in the Ukrainian war. Now, what makes him think that he's going to be the good guy? Well, take a look at what he said here recently. Take a look at this. Russia is ready to supply energy to Europe if asked. I mean, he's going to look like the good guy. This is an opportunity for Europe to literally tell fucking Trump and the United States, fuck you, we're doing business with Putin. And fuck you, I'm not joking around. All of a sudden, fucking Russia becomes the good guy because of our international belligerency. And fucking Europe is going to have to take it. All right, Europe is going to have to take it. Because we're certainly not going to fucking supply them with oil. We need to supply ourselves. And the reason they'll do this is not only out of necessity, but out of spite. Out of spite because of what the United States has done to Europe all this year. So Trump has really fucked us up. All right? And if you don't believe this shit, well, then you're a part of the fucking problem. You're the reason why our country is being kamikazed into the fucking ground. All right? I mean, can you believe that Trump has done such bad shit that now all of a sudden Putin is starting to look like the good guy in the international community? Fucking unreal. Unreal. Now, look, there is a little light at the end of the tunnel, because you would think that China would be the first one to take advantage of us. Now, they may be playing some Sun Tzu type trickery here, but did you hear this? Trump is actually going to meet with Xi Jinping at the end of this month. And take a look at this. Beijing teases prospects for a successful Trump and Xi summit. So I don't know if this means that they're doing some Sun Tzu type of shit, and they're like, hey, we think it's going to be positive. Come on, we're going to host you. We're going to talk. Let's have some talks. Or they're doing this because they know they have us by the balls. Because look, the price of everything is going up. Everything from clothing to furniture to everything. Everything is going up. And the reason is because we have this major tariff on China. Major tariff on China. And because Trump has put himself in a very desperate situation by striking Iran and then by consequence affecting the entire world, I think that China has this idea that if they give Trump enough platitudes, that he will lift some of those tariffs at the end of this month. Now, I'm going to prognosticate this, all right? I think that we're going to see some tariffs come off the table after this event between Trump and Xi. And it's not because China's going to give us any kind of a good deal. It's because Trump has to, if he's going to not, he doesn't care about himself. I mean, if you want my opinion, I don't think he has much to go. His health is concerned. He looks pretty unhealthy. But he's worried, at least I think he's worried, about the Republican Party. And he knows that his actions have really cost the Republicans the midterms. And by doing something like lowering costs of goods, by having this so-called big hoopla or powwow with Xi Jinping, could potentially win some voters that have been unattracted to the MAGA situation ever since Trump has contradicted most of the shit that he said in his campaign. So let's see what happens in this summit here. But the foreign minister, Mr. Wang, not even joking, Mr. Wang Yi, he believes that there's going to be a positive. They think that there's good relations that are going to come from this Trump-Xi summit. Let's see what happens. I do not think that, we're going to get anything other than, hey, we'll give you big amounts of cheap goods so that people will consume cheap crap and forget about the fucked up job that you're doing, Trump. All right, how do you like that? Anyway, let me finish off with some news on Asia because, like I said, this Iranian situation affects everybody. Take a look at this. Tokyo told National Oil Reserve site to prepare for release amid Iran crisis. So everybody knows that they're going to be affected energy-wise, and everybody's, preparing to unleash out of their oil reserves. Now, if this conflict continues to go and those oil reserves are tapped out, then what? Then what? Jesus Christ. So once again, Tokyo tapping in. Take a look at what's happening in Asia. The Philippine government, have you heard about this shit? They're mandating now a 4-day work week to prevent energy from being burned, to save the energy. 4-day work week because we bombed Iran and didn't have a contingency plan at all when it came to these types of issues. So the Philippine government, 4-day work week. All right. South Korea, take a look at this. Same shit. South Korea Lee orders swift fuel price cap as Iran crisis rattles Asia's 4th largest economy. So all this, folks, and look, I did predict this in 24. I said that Trump's foreign policy and tariff policy was going to cause a global depression. And you see everything's in place right now. The dominoes are falling for that to be a reality as we speak. And how did I predict that we were going to have a Great Depression? Every one of the policies that Trump has advocated during his campaign, the tariffs, the immigration crackdown, the protectionism, and all isolationism and all that other shit, it was done in the 1930s. All right? The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act is literally what caused the Great Depression, on top of the anti-immigrant sentiment at the time. They had anti-immigrant sentiment against Italians and Jews, and they started deporting people and shit. All right? Isolationism, us pulling back from the world. All this shit caused the Great Depression and World War II. So all this shit that I prognosticated in 2024 was not hard to call. It's not hard to call. It's just you people are idiots, and you don't read history. That's the unfortunate part about the American people. They are, and this is the most dangerous people on earth. Arrogant, ignorant people that think they know everything. That's the majority of the American public. All right? That's the majority of the American public at this point in time, and that's why we're in this current situation that we're in. All right? Anyway, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm going to end this broadcast, but let's go ahead and get to the segment that we always do at the end of True Capitalist Radio, and I'm talking about totally useless news. All right? Totally useless news. Now, for all those that are just tuning in, at the end of every True Capitalist Radio broadcast, I try to find useless news around the internet to inform how stupid we really can be, or how desperate we really can be, or potentially, you know, just issues that we need to talk about. Kinda. Like this one. Let's get to the first story of totally useless news. Take a look at this. Grizzly Ann. Man bleeds to death after cutting off his own penis and slicing throat in the streets of Los Angeles. Jesus Christ. I mean, what the hell is going on in Los Angeles anyway, man? I mean, this had to have been in like Skid Row or some shit like that. Have y'all ever seen Skid Row in Los Angeles? It should be illegal to have that type of an encampment anywhere. And if these folks want a place to live, we need to designate some place in the fucking middle of the desert or some shit and supply these people, you know, just airdrop the shit to these people and let them figure it out themselves. All right? I mean, the guy's cutting. I mean, what are you doing? You're cutting off your penis. Why are you cutting off your penis and slicing your own throat? That sounds like some bath salts type of shit. That sounds like, what the hell is this? I mean, I'm telling you, man, we're getting more and more mad as a people in this country. And look, I blame a lot of things. I blame the psychotropic drugs. I blame...
I'd buy that for $1.
Hold on just a sec. We got Rando McFlando hooking it up with a buy me a coffee, and he said, give us your most optimistic outlook for next week. Just enjoy your life. There's not much optimism to be looked at. I think that people should be entertaining. If you have not gotten into metals at this point, I mean, I think that you should maintain an entry point because metals, this pullback is temporary. Nothing is going to indicate that the pullback in metals is going to happen anytime soon. And Bank of America has an analyst out there claiming that silver will hit up to $300 a troy ounce. And given all the discord in the international community, given the rise in uncertainty, given the economic conditions of America, given the inflation rate, given the tariff prices that increase the prices on top of the inflation rate, I mean, silver is going to go up until further notice. All right, until further notice. But anyway, once again, first totally useless news segment. Man bleeds to death cutting off his own penis. I mean, isn't it California? Couldn't you go to a doctor or some shit and get it turned into like a pocket pussy or some shit? I don't know. Anyway. And speaking of penises, did y'all hear about this? I mean, this has got to be ridiculous. Did you hear that John Lennon's wife, Yoko Ono, who's like 80-something years old, all right, decides now to come out and say, I believe John Lennon might have been gay. Okay, so what if he's gay? He was probably gay because he met your freaky ass, you fucking stupid lunatic. All right, you were the one convincing this fucking guy to go and do fucking photograph ops naked in a fucking hotel bedroom and shit. You're the fucking creeps that turned this guy into a gay fucking freak. Man, I can't stand this. You know who this bitch reminds me of? This bitch reminds me of Erica Kirk. Erica fucking Kirk. I mean, when John Lennon died, this fucking bitch Yoko took all his fucking money and ran. All right? And has been a fucking new age kookster ever since. I would blindfold this bitch with dental floss and question her about what the hell really happened. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'd buy that for $1.
And hold on, we gotta buy me a coffee here from Jiggle. He said, "Hey, Mr. Lion, can you jiggle your booty for the capitalists?" What the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking about Yoko Ono trying to claim that John Lennon's gay. You know, you've got to be very careful. I know everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be wealthy. Everybody wants to be a big star. I caution you. The most dangerous thing to be in America is worth more dead than alive. All right? Just ask Charlie Kirk. All right? Just ask Kurt Cobain. Just ask John Lennon. Okay? Just ask all these people that are now, their likeness, their memory is making hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars a year, and somebody else who had nothing to do with it are now reaping the rewards of that shit and moving on like they hit the lottery. And your memory? Nah, he wasn't that good of a guy anyway. John Lennon? He probably took it in the ass. Charlie Kirk? He was, I don't know, looking at trannies or whatever. Something's going to come out, and it's these bitches that these guys believed in, that these guys did everything for, that are reaping the rewards and not batting an eye or shedding a tear for their asses. Yeah, Michael Jackson, another one. Thank you, Roan Wood. You're the most dangerous thing to be is to be worth more dead than alive. Okay? And Anubis, I'll get to it when I get to it, dude. All right? Anyway, last but not least, I don't think this is totally useless news, but I think it needs to be talked about. Put the PC shot on. Difficult people in your life might make you age faster. And the reason I bring up this story is because on the Go Show the other night, I had somebody donate a video and asking me, is it okay to disband from your family? You know, to completely disconnect yourself from your family. And I said the following. I was a little buzzed, unfortunately, but I do want to say that if you have family members that every time they call you or every time you come in contact with them, you know, you get that pit of your stomach feeling like, what now? You know, if they're going to be nothing but a burden or a grief, or if they didn't leave you anything. Because remember, you as a child, you weren't asked to be here. You were a product of a selfish decision by your mother and father. So, I mean, you would think that if they planned to have you, that they would have left you something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be monetarily, or it doesn't have to be monetary or material. I mean, if they leave you a trade, if they leave you a family tradition, if they leave you with something. And unfortunately, folks, my parents, and I'm going to be very candid because I was on the Go Show, I didn't attend my parents' funerals when they died because they weren't good parents. They weren't good people. I mean, my parents, to their credit, they did feed us. You know, they fed us fairly decent food and that sort of thing. But they didn't teach me and my siblings how to treat people. You know, they didn't teach me and my siblings, like, how to interact with people, how to view people, how to love people. You know, love in my family was all optical. It was all just something that we did in front of other people in order for other people that look at us to not make us look like a disoriented or a family that has a lot of discord. And when I, unfortunately, was kicked out of my house by my folks because, you know, they were no longer legally obligated to take care of me anymore, I had to figure shit out on myself. I mean, I could have gone to pot. I could have, you know, been into depression. I could have done a lot of things. And instead, I was motivated to continue because I didn't want what this obstacle that was dropped on me so early in life to defeat who I was or was going to be in the future. And then once I started bouncing back in my 20s, I started, you know, I've been independent businessman ever since my early 20s, baby. And once I started making some pretty good money, all of a sudden, my parents started coming around. All of a sudden, my parents and my aunts and my uncles and shit, they all wanted to come around. They all wanted their hand out, man. They're fucking shaking a bean with fucking a tin can, shaking a bean. And, dude, I tried. You know, you try to be the good son. You're like, all right, let me give these fools a try. Let me see what absolute grief, absolute chaos. I mean, every time these people fucking called me, I was like, what now? What do you want now? And if it wasn't something they wanted, they purposely tried to tell me something in order to get me pissed off, mad, or upset, in order to make them feel better. All right?
Buy that for $1.
In order to make them feel better. So what I did, I just said, fuck you people. Don't ever call me again. And if you call me again or come by or any of that shit, I'm going to have you arrested. I don't ever want to talk to you people again. You people have done nothing but give me grief. You've left me nothing. You haven't even leave me. You didn't leave me manners. You didn't leave me fucking a trade. You didn't leave me shit. And now you're trying to use this idea of family for you to manipulate me into giving you shit when you didn't leave me shit? Fuck you. Fuck you. So I literally disconnected myself with my parents. They croaked and they tried to invite me to the funeral, and I said, fuck you. All right? What do you want me to go show up and I can go there and fucking tell the truth about these people? You want me to go there and say, oh yeah, they were so great? I'm not going to say that bullshit. I'm not going to say that bullshit. And you know what? I have no qualms about doing that. I don't think about it one bit. You want to know why? Because these people didn't leave me nothing. I was a broken person before I met Mrs. Ghost, believe it or not. I was a fucking broken ass person, I'm still a little bit of a violent person. I hate to say that. You know, I was a very angry person, still a little angry. But until I found Mrs. Ghost, I didn't know how to love anybody. I didn't even know what love meant. I didn't even know what love felt like. And then when I met Mrs. Ghost, it was something that I couldn't believe I found. You know, that longing for, you know, being wanted, being loved unconditionally. You know, being by your side, you know, during the toughest times. You know, leaving yourself vulnerable and showing that, hey, look, I'm hurting. I fear. You know, I need fucking emotional help. And Mrs. Ghost was there. And I've been with Mrs. Ghost, I don't even want to tell you how many decades because it's going to age the shit out of me. But I love that woman. I love that woman, and that's my family. Mrs. Ghost and the children I had and the people that I invite every Thanksgiving and every Christmas, that's my family. Okay, so whenever they say, oh, you know, you got to do things for your family, you got to do things for this, your family. You go out and build your family. That's who you do everything for. You do everything to protect your wife. You do everything to supply them with whatever sustenance, whatever memories, you know, whatever's needed in order to sustain a good family life, to sustain a good love unit. And let me tell you something, man. I hate to quote Morrissey, but we're all human and we need to be loved. So all I'm saying is life is too short, especially now in these chaotic times. If you've got people that are just being fucking ridiculous, and every time you're around them, you're like, just, like you get this pit in your stomach.
Buy that for $1.
Then go away. Okay? Then go away. And hey, what? I'm not a broken alcoholic, dude. All right? I like to drink at night. Okay? Which I'm probably going to drink here shortly. Okay? I'm not out here like you, sir, waking up in the morning and then smashing a 12-pack, all right, before breakfast. That ain't me. Okay? And let me tell you something right now. Even though I do drink, I don't take psychotropic drugs, okay? I don't take any drugs. I don't take medications. Okay? And let me tell you something. I am fucking fine. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, maybe my high blood pressure is a little high. But you know what? I'm not going to go and take a blood pressure medication. I'm not going to go take a statin drug for it. I'm just going to eat shit that'll lower my blood pressure. Like avocados. Natural blood pressure reducer. Drinking a glass of wine, believe it or not, before you go to sleep. Natural blood pressure reducer. So, look, all I'm simply stating is that alcohol is what I do. At the end of the evening, I love beer. As a matter of fact, I got to stop drinking beer because I am trying to work out. I am trying to get myself into some pretty good shape. And I'm finding that beer is preventing me from actually truly getting ripped. Unfortunately, I love beer. I hate to sound like Brett Kavanaugh, but I like beer. I like beer. And I have to give it up for at least 2 to 3 months for me to get into the type of shape that I'm getting into. And by the way, I cannot believe, as at my age, the kind of shape that I'm getting into, I am considering, I know I said I would never take any supplements, but I've been doing some research on creatine, and I think I might take it once I start getting to the rip point where, oh man, I could fucking see the cuts.
I'd buy that.
And then
for
creatine
$1.
time, and then fucking fucking MILFs out here are gonna be fucking, they're gonna be fucking turning wet again, all right? They're gonna be reversing menopause and shit. Anyway, Random McFlando, what's our homework for next TCR on Monday? Well, let's see what happens with this Iran war. And whether or not Trump is serious about pulling back, or if he's going to double down and make us look like a terrorist nation state, like we already look. And, Haywood, I'm not a broken alcoholic, dude, all right? Let me tell you, I love my life. That's the reason I drink. I drink because I love my life. I mean, with all due respect, Haywood, I don't appreciate you going there. But since you want to get personal, I mean, with all due respect, you drink Bud Light, okay? Bud Light is the nectar of Dylan Mulvaney, on top of it tasting like Kentucky Fried Chicken piss, okay? I get all kinds of beer. I have 3 bars in my home, all stocked with fucking scotches, tequila, like it's a full fucking bar, all right? The kind of beers I drink? I drink on the Ghost Show, Sapporo. And the reason I do is because people on the Ghost Show expect me to be on there for 9 or 10 hours, and they expect me to fucking drink for 7 of those, and you're not going to be able to do that with German beers and fucking beers from Europe, which is what I like. I love Spaten Lager, my favorite beer. Stella Artois, my second favorite beer from Europe. Third favorite beer is Styroprom. I drink because I genuinely love the appreciation of the flavors of every one of the drinks that I drink. You, on the other hand, will drink grain alcohol in order for you to get drunk. So don't try to compare myself to you, all right? You are nothing like me. Believe me, nothing. All right? With all due respect, your health was failing because you were drinking so much. And look at me. I can do fucking 10, 11-hour shows while I'm on booze. All right? I have that kind of energy. All right? You don't have that kind of energy because your health is failing because you can't fucking put down the booze when you wake up in the morning. All right? And I've tried to tell you that the only way that you're going to be able to survive drinking every day is if you stop and don't drink for a good 12 hours and make sure you put good shit in your body. And what was the good shit that I put into my body today? I ate the Power Punch salad in the morning. Usually for breakfast, I have the Power Punch salad. And the Power Punch salad, it is so healthy that literally when I go to the bathroom, dude, it's like this big fucking, one huge line. You don't even have to wipe. It comes out so clean, dude. I don't mean to be talking about my bowel movements, but you would think that because I drink so fucking much that I'd be taking liquid shits. I don't. All right? Because I take care of myself. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just being candid with you. All right? I'm just being candid with you. Anyway, I wipe, dude. I'm just, it's a joke, you fucking autist. Anyway, Anubis, I said it was a raid, would unmute, I'll fucking do it when I feel like it, dude. Blades, show me on the doll where they hurt you. Well, no, they didn't. I mean, it was more mental and physical abuse with my parents. They weren't, they never did anything sexual like that or none of that shit. They were just fucking fucked up people, you know? You've met people like this. Most of the people in America are like that now. They were just fucked up people. They made impulsive decisions, and they always wonder why they were always wrong. Because they were fucking impulsive. They never fucking thought about anything. We got Old Man Frank. Did you meet Ghost at the Alahomo? Yeah, great. Real funny, you fucking asshole. All right? Anyway, look. That concludes the True Capitalist Radio. I went a little over because, unfortunately, we had some trolls at the beginning of the show that were trying to piss me off. I had to fucking ban their asses, and, we went on with the show. I will, I guess, do a ghost show tomorrow. For all those that don't know, I do another show from 8 p.m. onward until the next morning, every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, typically on Rumble, Kick, D Live. You can catch me on any one of those. For those that are listening to me on X or Twitter or YouTube, you're going to have to follow me on X or Twitter in order to find out when I'm going to be doing a show, because X is my social media of choice. And let me show you. Put the PC shot on. And cheers to BN King, man. Thank you very much for the 5 beers, man. And I'm sure that's for Taco Tuesday's Ghost Show. But once again, if you can, follow me on X or Twitter, The Ghost Report, all one word, no underscores, The Ghost Report. And also, I have 14 hours left on this poll. Do you approve of the Trump administration? 66.7% say no. 33.3%, me magic, say yes. So there you go. Once again, follow me on X or Twitter to figure out when I'm going to be streaming exactly, or get the links or any of that stuff. All right, and I want to say cheers to the folks that are listening to me on Twitter. The True Capitalist Radio Show is on every Monday. We're going to try to do it every Monday, 5-ish p.m. Central Standard Time, True Capitalist Radio on Monday. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Cheers, Valentine Broadcasting, and cheers to everybody out there. If you are going to be kicking it with us tomorrow, it's a Taco Tuesday Ghost Show. And once again, the Ghost Show is a little bit of a tomfoolery show. It's not a serious show like the True Capitalist Radio Show. Hence, at the beginning of this broadcast, we had all these fucking tarred trolls trying to talk garbage. All right? So anyway, thank you all for tuning in with me. Until next Monday, I will see all you True Capitalist Army fans then. Until next time, I'm out of here.